Hello, and welcome to the Gilded Flask. Today we are doing something a little bit unusual. We are joined, as usual, by Barry and Drunkrat and myself, Jed. And this week we're changing things up. We're gonna instead of playing D&D 5e, we're going to be playing a one-page TTRPG called Elf with a 10-page backstory. A one-page system that harkens back to the teenagers playing brooding rogues and rangers in their parents' basements. Not to worry, it's a very rules-like game based on skill checks with a d6 and relies heavily on our improvisational skills, or lack thereof. We'll be creating our characters and learning the rules in real time as we go, but fortunately we are also joined by the game's creator, Devin Nelson, today, who will be GMing our game today, even though technically the game can be played without a GM. Type !game if you'd like a link to the rules. And Devin, can you introduce yourself and the game?
Hi, I'm Devin. You can find me on itch.io as Devin Decibel. Also, that's all of my socials. I am a composer and a tabletop game designer, and sometimes I compose music for tabletop things. I didn't have anything prepared for this, though.
All good.
But yeah, this game is called Elf with the 10-page backstory. You already kind of get the intro on it. Should I say anything?
No, I think, if we want to just jump right in, I'm game for that.
Really, I'm quiet. I'm gonna move the mic closer to my face.
I moved your volume up on Discord, so you're a little louder now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Cool.
Yeah, it should be better now. Sorry, yeah, we're flying by the seat of our pants on this one, but it's like you said, it's a pretty rules light one. We're gonna be having a good time.
Yes.
Cool beans. Oh, you can barely hear him over the music. Yeah, let me turn the music down too. I can't hear that. There we go. Okay. Hi everybody. Welcome to the Gilded Flask, where technical difficulties are
where
not far
preparation
away.
is never far.
Yeah, exactly. Lovely to have you here. 100%.
Devin, you want to get us started?
Sure. So this game kind of came as a fever dream for me. So I'm a long-time tabletop player. I started with Dungeons and Dragons and then got more into indie games. But a lot of my original experiences with Dungeons and Dragons involved specific types of edgelords, myself included. And
Yes.
I really wanted to write a game inspired by that. So I was at Big Bad Con a couple weeks ago, and I had talks with a couple friends, and we were all joking about characters like this, like elves with 10-page backstories. And I thought it would be really funny to write a one-page game about a 10-page backstory. So that's kind of the whole bit. And yeah, but when it was incepted into my brain, it took me 2 days to actually write down and publish. So it's a very chaotic piece of art for me.
And I've played it once before, and I had a ton of fun playing it, so I'm looking forward.
I was surprised by how compelling the thought of being an edgelord on purpose was for people.
Well, I think
it's
you've
allowed
also
to
got
stop?
some interesting mechanics in here that I think encourage some whimsicality. I'm not sure if that's a word, but
Sure.
Whimsicality is a
I-
word. If you feel like it
whimsicality.
is.
That's also my character's name now.
I dare
Oh,
you to
yeah.
laugh. Do it.
So should we hop in? What's the usual protocol here?
We don't
are
have a
hot.
protocol for this. Let's hop right in.
Excellent. Okay, so the intro. You and your 2 to 4 friends are starting a new fantasy roleplay campaign or one-shot. Your character is a badass elf with pages of deep, edgy, and tragic lore. You didn't make a healer, nor did any of your friends. And there's a little asterisk next to the elf with a footnote that says, you don't have to be an elf. Any sort of fantastical person is fine as long as they are sick as fuck. And then one of you is going to be the dungeon keeper. That is me. You have pages of lore about your hardcore original setting and haven't read any of your players' novellas. And there's another note that says, perhaps you suddenly had a sick idea for a character and don't want to run the game anymore. This is also fine. So you can play this game without a GM. Not totally necessary, but for the sake of stream, we're going to do GM version today.
To get a bit of structure in there.
So the whole joke, I feel like I'm not in focus now. Oops. The whole joke with this game is that the 10-page backstory doesn't actually exist. You're going to be rolling a couple d6s to sort of generate a backstory by either using the numbers to pick prompts from lists or just picking your favorite one and cheating. Like, no, you're not actually going to reveal this backstory to anybody directly, so it doesn't really matter if you rolled naturally or just picked a prompt that you thought was funny or interesting. So I want y'all to get started with that. So if we move on to the first section in the game, there are a list of tables which you can use to generate your edgy 10-page backstory.
And once again, anybody who wants to see the rules can type !game and see the itch page.
It is a free game.
All right, I will start rolling my character then.
Right,
So keep all this
same.
to yourself.
So can you say that one more time? It's under the character's dark past. Is that what we're doing? All those?
Yeah.
So where
your
it says like
character-
you're a mysterious loner from, and then you roll a d6.
Stop guessing my character. All right.
Also, if you really want to, you can pick two options. Like, I really can't even see what you're doing. So this is all meant to be inspiration. None of this is like, it's mechanical in the sense that your backstory is going to be important to making rolls. But these aren't like things that you check off on a list. Like, this is just supposed to inspire your abstract 10-page backstory.
I love the fact that like I'm just rolling on this like for in D&D terms pretty important things. Like, some things in your backstory are just like, yeah, whatever. There's a couple of things in here already where I'm like, were this a D&D game, I would not be comfortable rolling for this.
Just so the viewers know what's going on, the prompts for the tables are: you are a mysterious loner from blank. And there's options like the deep woods, the misty moors, the dark forest, the shattered peaks, the hidden grove, the shadow isles. One time I did a game where everybody was from the shadow isles. It was really fucking funny.
Awesome.
But like nobody knows like what place you have on your backstory until you reveal it dramatically in play. So everybody surprised each other by being from the same place. The second prompt is you are unparalleled in your skills with blank. Then you are renowned as blank. You were thrust into this dangerous life because blank, and above all else, you desire blank. And then the last one is your name is blank. And there's not like a list of names, but they're like what the vibes of the names are. Like something with 2 apostrophes, something with shadow, blade, or hawk in it, something that evokes terror and chaos, that sort of thing. And meanwhile, actually, I need to roll some dice as well, because as the dungeon keeper, I am also going to be generating the lore for the world and the mission that we're going to be going on. And I have my own set of tables that I'm going to do that from.
As we have our character, should we just quickly MS Paint whatever we think this looks like and send it to like Danny or something so I can put it on stage for added like hilarity?
Oh my god.
Wait, what was that?
So like I got my stats ready.
Instead, actually, we're gonna post these to the Discord that you guys can see as we're going. Because I don't think I can quickly on the fly. I could just whip up an image thing, but it's gonna look really weird. But also, you should check out our Discord, !Discord, to go see the characters.
Good point. Yeah, we'll drop them in the general chat over there.
I really want to tell you guys as I'm doing. I want to mute my mic and just tell the community what I am becoming, because I love this.
My name
This
is
is
something
like-
beautiful and fey.
Sure you are.
I've taken your advice and done 2 of each one and figured out how those 2 work together.
Oh,
Which I think is kind of
You cut out there for a sec, but
no worries. I said, which I think is kind of the point. Like I'm not like the first person who thought of that.
You're such an edgelord.
I'm actually going to go back and retcon some of my decisions here.
all right, I think I already got a whole bit for what our story is going to be.
I wish I could use more than 3 fingers to type. I just never really learned. I got
Really?
I used
That's
2 on this
surprising.
one and 1 on this one. I'm a hunt and pecker, but with 3 fingers.
I've known you for over a year and I'm just now learning this.
It's not too late to download like Mario Teaches Typing or something. Right?
No,
Oh,
I cheated those.
Typing of the Dead. That's the good one. You played that?
I've used that one actually. Yeah.
It's pretty great. It's like a first-person shooter typing game. All right, I've got my character. Oh, I should draw my character.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
not gonna draw mine. I don't have enough.
All right.
I didn't
MS
get
Paint
one
time.
single pair.
If we stream something like this again, I think we should have it where like we can show some of this live because I'm about to draw a very horrible drawing.
Same.
Oh, and
like
yeah,
a mural board or something.
for anyone who's watching this or listening to our podcast but watching this on YouTube, in the description is the Discord and also a link to Devin and Devin's what do you call it, TTRPG works. Definitely check them out. Highly recommended.
Yes.
I love this concept. So you said, Devin, like this, like you said, like it came to you in a fever dream. But like, was this literally just like you woke up one day and made it? Like, is that really origin? Because it's cool.
I started writing it in the notes app on my phone at the convention.
Wow.
I was like hanging out with
I
friends
love
at a
it.
table, and I was just like passively making lists of weird guys on my phone.
That's just perfect.
That's great. I love that.
So initially, my
It was
name,
it was a great con, and it was an inspiring energy. I'll say.
that is really cool. Yeah, to be surrounded by that. So initially, my name was going to be Lord Badass of the Badassitors. But
Yep.
I then
Hey, one sec. Yeah, keep it close to your chest until we can dramatically reveal.
yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna
You-
change the actual name, or I'm not gonna let you know the actual name now, but it is changed. This is
Yeah,
going
but
to
now I
be-
have
last time
one
I-
less option if I want to guess
Interesting.
what your name is. So it narrows it
The last
down
time I
for me.
played this, one of my players asked in confidence if he could just be, or if they could just be Wolverine. And I didn't say no. It's within the spirit of this game to do stupid shit like that.
Yes.
Well, one little pet peeve that I definitely have when I'm making characters, like I'm the forever DM, so I never get to play, but the times I do, I really like going for the most simplistic names for complicated characters. So like a really cool paladin, yada yada, 10-page backstory, named Timmy. I just love that. There's, you know?
Yes.
I think I had a character named Timothy Trent at one point, and I forget why. It was he was going to be like a little warlock, and his Eldritch Blasts were actually going to be just a slingshot. He was firing a mystical slingshot. I don't remember why that was.
That's great. I had a player in, like, speaking of slingshots, I had a player in one of my campaigns that they found a necklace of fireballs and they have a slingshot on them. And they were like, "Can I combine that?" I guess
That's pretty dope, actually.
Yeah.
The big bad evil guy is
That's pretty dope.
just standing there and the thing, "None shall defy me." Little Timmy
love
comes
that.
along with a slingshot. He's like, "I will defy you."
Yes.
Here's a marble. Yeah.
Yeah. You defy me with such a pitiful presence. Love it. Good stuff.
Appreciate that we're already getting into the spirit of the game.
That's what this does, man.
Does MS Paint have an eraser tool?
Control Z.
And if it does, where is it?
Well, I mean, it does, but like, it's
There it
not
is. Okay,
Photoshop.
I found it.
Yeah. I'm not MS painting
Oh,
at the moment.
when you use it, it also erases the default white background, so you just
Yes,
end
sir.
up with like the checker marks.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. I don't think I haven't used the MS Paint in probably a decade.
I'm gonna ask
My character is done. Let me drop that in the chat.
I'm gonna ask Chol, Alubu, or anyone else of artistic talent to draw the character as I reveal information about them.
Ooh,
That's funny,
interesting. Interesting idea.
Yeah, second that, Chol. You can do that with mine as well if you want to.
Well, I'm ready to go when y'all are.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go.
Same.
Excellent.
do it.
So, how this game works is we're going to start with a scene where we all meet at a tavern to figure out what sort of business we're going to be getting up to today. And in this scene is just narrative. We're just going to introduce our characters and learn about what we're going to be doing. But once we actually start, we're starting with something called a challenge. And when we're in a challenge, we're actually going to be rolling dice and such. And the main mechanic in this game is that you're going to be rolling a d6. And the number that you roll on the d6 is how much damage you deal to the challenge. The challenge is going to have a value associated with it, kind of like HP, and each subsequent challenge is going to be harder than the last. However, you can roll more than one die for a couple different reasons. One, you can add an extra die if you can incorporate something about your tragic backstory into the action that you're doing. Either you're revealing something about your past, or there's something about your training or backstory that leads you to be better at the action that you're taking. Then you can roll a second die. And when you roll the 2 dice, you're going to take the higher value that you rolled as your result. You can also get a third additional die, or instead of the other second die, by making a called shot, proclaiming what sort of badass thing you're going to do before you do it, and that'll get you an extra die. So you can roll up to 3 dice if you want to do all of those things. Now, there is a downside to rolling extra dice. You don't have HP or anything like that, but the integrity of your character is going to be tracked by something called your aloofness score. This is like your general enmity with the rest of the crew, but also like stress and actual like damage. And if you gain 6 points of aloofness, you become too much of a lone wolf and you need to leave the party and introduce a new character. How you get aloofness is if you roll a value equal to or less than the number of dice that you rolled, you'll gain points of aloofness equal to how many dice you rolled. So if you roll 1d6 and you get a 1, you gain 1 point of aloofness. If you roll 2d6 and you get a 2 or a 1, you gain 2 points of aloofness. And if you roll 3d6 and roll a 1, 2, or 3, you gain 3 points of aloofness.
So if you roll like
The
under
other way,
the amount of dice that you rolled, basically.
cool. Yeah. You also gain aloofness by rolling 6s. So both failure and success make you more of a loner. So rolling 4s and 5s are kind of where you want to be in this game.
I'm a lone wolf.
Devin, this really hits home. Like,
I succeeded my way out of my last party. They couldn't handle me.
But to clarify, this first part in the tavern, we're not doing any of that. We're just role playing. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just figured I would introduce the main mechanic before we like got into the game. The last point about that is I forgot the last point I had about that. Yeah, we'll figure it out as we get into it. So I'm going to give you a little intro monologue, and we can get started. You'll want to keep some of your backstory close to your chest to reveal in dramatic moments to get bonuses on dice rolls, but you're going to want to introduce the like general vibe of your character, and if your character chooses to, they can share their name with their compatriots.
So we're not sending your
so
backstories
usually the way
to you? Or
What's that?
are we sending our backstories to you, or are we just revealing it like to you?
You don't share anything with anybody.
All right.
I'm way too cool for that.
The idea is that you're gonna have to shoehorn all of that into the story. Okay, so I imagine that the 3 of you are a part of some sort of adventurers guild. You don't know each other, but you were given a task, a mission to go on from your guild, and you've been assigned a team, but you have not met these people yet. But you were told that you would meet them at a tavern called the Bitter Sip. And the Bitter Sip is in a city called Coal Marrow. Coal Marrow is famous for being a necropolis, or necropolis.
Ooh.
This is a reference to Colma, California, just south of where I live in San Francisco. Which is
also a necropolis?
Yes.
Okay.
So San Francisco is only 7 by 7 miles. So there's no real estate for cemeteries. So all of the bodies are buried about like 20 minutes south of San Francisco in a city called Colma.
You're kidding me.
Which
No,
half
it's
of
true.
the city is like graveyards, basically.
Wow.
The
There's also a target
catchphrase
there, but
yeah, there's 2 targets right across the
thing is
highway.
it's even worse.
it's even worse.
But I'm gonna steal this because it's fucking great. One of the slogans for Colma, California is "It's nice to be alive in Colma."
Mm-hmm.
And that's also the slogan of Colmero, this fantasy version. I imagine this is a similar situation where this city is like on the outskirts of like a bigger city where they didn't have space to bury dead bodies. So there's just this massive valley full of graveyards, and a quaint little village. And maybe at different times, maybe at the same time, but not talking to each other, the three of you descend down a foggy hill into this valley, and you come upon the Bitter Sip, the tavern that you were told to meet your team at. So who would be the most prompt adventurer we have here today?
I think I'd be fashionably late.
Who's gonna enter the tavern first?
I show up when I damn well choose.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I try to be fashionably late, but you two are more fashionable than me. So like I stroll in like an hour after we were supposed to meet.
But you're the first one.
And this robed figure comes through the door, and he looks like a total badass, and he's carrying with him a large tome, and he sits down at a table near the bar and places his giant staff that's all gnarled and mythic looking, and he sets it down next to him.
There's a very jolly, kind of plump, middle-aged woman behind the bar. Like, oh, hi, dearie. I'm Martha. This is the Bitter Sip. Can I get you a drink?
Yes, the souls of my enemies.
Oh, dear. I don't know if we have any of that today. Is there something else I could get you?
I guess just an ale would be fine then, yes.
All right. And she goes and back to a barrel and starts pouring you some ale. And in the back room, there's like a giant like skunk that kind of like starts sniffing around and poking its head out curiously. The bar is not very like packed, but there are a few people. In one corner, there's just a silent man that is like staring out the window, and like every like 45 seconds, he just starts cackling. And there's also just a bunch of like normal people here too. Even though this is like a necropolis city, people do live here. You can raise a family here. Rent's not too expensive.
You can try. Not too long after. Yeah. So another figure saunters through the door, looks around. He's a decently tall, but not the tallest you've ever seen. Dragonborn, black scales, wearing a leather jacket and sackcloth breeches. He has if I could clipped, it'd be great. He has a small timepiece, or at least a medallion clipped to part of the jacket, and an enormous black and red battle axe strapped to his back, brimming with these tiny glowing runes that hover a quarter of an inch off the haft of the axe.
Damn, sounds sick.
Walks over to the bar, puts his elbows on the table, and stares straight ahead.
Do you acknowledge Jed's character at all?
If our eyes meet, I'll do a little tip of my a little nod of the kind of person who acknowledges someone who may be a threat in a fight.
As our eyes meet, you see like a little glimmer of like this yellow glow in my character's eyes.
I like that everybody's all in black so far.
I mean, I'm wearing a black cloak. Of course I am.
I mean,
what else are you gonna wear?
My leather jacket's it's the color of leather. It's not blackened.
Oh, okay.
I don't need stealth for what I do.
Excellent. And Barry, what about your character?
Fine. So the door goes open and then closes again because I wasn't fast enough. So open the door again. I look inside. I dread going in, but kind of thirsty. As I walk in, you see a tall and elegant figure with a beautiful face that a lot of people would look at if they'd see it in passing. Underneath, you see pajamas.
Type of face a lot of people would look at.
You see what?
Yeah. A
In
type of
passing.
face that a lot of people would look at in passing. He's wearing pajamas of some sort with some gold stars on it. He's wearing socks to match. He has a gnarly old staff, and as he looks at the bar, he notices that someone else has probably shopped where he did too. And he looks at his book and he looks over at the bar, same book. He's like, oh, damn it. Fine. So he walks into the bar and just sits on the opposite end of the bar. And his eyes that have a faint yellow glimmer in it, like look with the sharpness of knives at this other patron on the other side of the bar.
Are you all like spread out as like
It
far
sure
away from each
seems
other as
that way.
possible at the bar?
I'm other side, yeah.
Well, I am a mysterious loner, so it makes sense
The
for
one-
my very unique character.
I've run this game a bunch of times, and so far the one constant is everybody sits as far away from each other as possible. before we begin it.
I just
Just
sat the
in
closest
true
to the
Edgelord
door.
fashion.
I didn't care.
Yeah. I think I stand up and I go stand next to your character, Drunk Rat, at the one with the battle axe. I walk over and I
Oh.
just stand. Oh,
What is the Dragonborn order?
No one saw to him yet, and he's kind of disappointed in the service of this place.
Oh no, Martha would be happy to help you. How are you, dearie?
Do you have any fresh goat's milk?
I got skunk milk.
That'll do. Remind me of home. I'll have one.
Yeah, she goes back into the special cooled barrel in the back and gets you a nice frosty glass of skunk milk.
so I walk. My cloaked figure walks over to the bar and stands next to him. So, where do you hearken from, Dragonborn?
All over, really. Never really stay much of a place to call home. I've been
Well,
down the coast. Never met the likes of you, or I've been in some places.
you've not heard of me.
Can't say
A
that
bit
I
of a
have.
legend around here. I'm surprised. And we're hired by the same benefactor, it seems. So, wait, we're like an adventurers guild, or what are we? I forget already.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
like freelancers.
we were hired for the same job, it seems.
Last group I was with, nobody else survived. I don't get too close to those I work with.
Last group I was with, I managed to survive, fortunately. But yeah, same thing. They all died. It's very tragic. I'm a very tragic figure.
Seems that way. Tell me this.
While this conversation's happening, Martha goes up to Barry's character. What do you order? You did say you were thirsty.
I suppose you don't have any fermented ooze.
Fermented ooze?
It's a local custom. I don't expect you to carry it. And it's celestial moonshine.
I mean, sometimes we scrape the ooze off the top of the ales as they ferment. You can have that if you want.
The ear.
I'll just take an ethereal
Usually-
belcher and be done with it.
I overhear this and I walk over and I say, I have some homebrewed ooze if you'd be interested. And I pull out a giant jar from inside of my cloak.
As you say, I have some. Like, can you repeat that for me? 1 second.
Homebrewed ooze.
Thank you. As you say that, I look at you with a renewed interest and lock eyes with you for a second and say, I'm sorry, but my needs have been satisfied this morning multiple times. Oh, you mean the drink? Sure. Sure, what's that?
Yes, it's my homemade kombucha.
Mm.
And I pour out a glass. I pour a glass out of this jar.
One Martha interrupts. One sec though. I try my best to be very hospitable in this here tavern, but we don't allow outside food and drink.
I glare at her with my yellow eyes.
As I look over to my companion in gnarled wood, so can I hold that glass for a second? And as I take it, I give it to Martha. Can you hold this for me?
She takes it with confused eyes.
Great. Can I have it back?
She looks even more flabbergasted.
Can I have it back?
Yes.
Thank you. Now it's inside food. Thank you. And he takes a sip.
Now I never.
Oh, we're so mean to the poor barmaid.
The man in the corner starts like cackling furiously. The like gaunt, sad man in the corner.
So, stranger, I suppose you're here for the adventuring guild as well.
Seems that way. And I need some coin. And, this was easy grabbings.
So y'all are the adventurers.
You didn't hear that from us, but yes. Prefer to
She
keep
looks
a low
around the
profile
bar.
myself.
She looks around the bar. Y'all clearly stand out.
Yeah,
There's just
figured
like a
as much.
normal family that walks in, sits down.
I slip the barmaid a silver, and I just say like, "Get that kid a milkshake."
A skunk milkshake, but yeah, I could do that.
Perfect.
I think the skunk milk has gone off. By the way, you see he pushed the glass a little bit away from himself.
So, what do you think they hired us to do exactly? This question for anyone.
Me?
Oh, I mean the bartender could tell you. It just seemed like you were having a. Oh yeah. So we've been having some weird times out here in Coal Marrow, and as soon as she says that, a man walks into the bar, and she suddenly diverts her attention to the door away from y'all, and she says, "Francis, is that you? I thought you died." And then she like walks away from the conversation, and it standing at the door is another like middle-aged man about the same age as her, and he just has like an arrow hole like through his neck, which would be a
As you
like, you know,
do.
a lethal shot. But he seems like totally fine, but he just seemed like a little bit like shocked about what's going on. But she like goes to embrace him, and she's like, and then she suddenly like jolts back, and she's like, wait. You've been dead for 2 years. What the hell's going? One sec, Francis. We're gonna talk. Let me address these adventurers first. And she comes back. She looks very distraught. She's like, "This is exactly what's going on. People that we thought were dead are coming back. The dead are alive."
That's how I feel.
Barmaid,
Sound.
is it people who've been buried here or new
Yeah, I mean,
people
most
who die?
people in the county are buried here.
And what about that cackling man over there? Do you know anything about him?
Oh, that's just Bruno. He just does that.
Okay. Not relevant. Got it. Okay.
Well,
Well, this is a strange occurrence indeed.
Yeah, there's been a rumor about a wizard who's been sneaking around. He used to go by the name, but now people call him the Widower.
I'm sorry, I
You look
missed-
like the wizard type, sir. And I look at Barry.
It actually cut out right before you said the widower. What was his? He used to be called
Oswald. He lived in the town. He was the town wizard.
A name that invokes fear. Oswald.
Yes. Well, Oswald, that Enswald.
You look like the wizarding type, and I look at Barry's character. Do you know anything about this Oswald's widower?
I don't understand why you would say that.
You have a
Especially given the
staff.
fact that, well, so do you. He says as he eyes you up and down and then looks at your staff.
So out of my staff, I just like pull one end of it, and a knife comes out. I said, "This is the staff of unending knives."
Very edgy.
Yes.
Has many edges.
You had a staff, so I decided not to change my mind.
But when did this start?
Mine is,
I'm sorry,
What?
carry on.
It seems like it's been happening gradually, but it's becoming a bit of a problem.
I can imagine.
Like,
but
I haven't seen my husband in a year after the bandits shot an arrow through him. And look, there he is, just staring at me.
I feel like it's kind of weird that you haven't gone over and spoken to your dead husband who just showed up in this bar.
I mean, I'm hoping that y'all could go take care of this problem. I have plenty of time to talk to him after you leave.
You're telling me that your dead husband just came and greeted you at the bar, and you're saying that this is a problem. Are you not enamored? Do you what is wrong with you?
Who shot the
calm
arrow
down,
into your
calm
husband?
down.
Was it you?
Calm down.
I do agree with
He
the
was-
barbarian over
he was-
here.
Not a
He
barbarian.
was killed. He was killed by bandits after he ran off and took all our money to go gambling. So I got some things to say to him, and I don't want to say that in present company, and I wanted to wait for people to leave before, I give him some.
He left to go camping?
Gambling.
Gambling. That makes more sense. Yeah.
If I had one more chance to see her. I don't care what she
You
did.
lost
wrong.
someone as well.
I purposely do not react to that.
So, we got to go figure out this problem. Where do we start, barmaid?
My name's Martha, but yeah, you could probably
Okay,
go
Barb.
check out the entrance to the necropolis.
All right, Marge,
Uh,
where is
most-
it?
mo- There's so many people buried in coal marrow that they ran out of a ground space and they had to start digging deeper. There's a whole catacomb.
Sub-levels
whole
of,
catacomb.
of cemetery.
Whoever's probably
Alright.
doing this is probably deep down there somewhere.
The Dragonborn picks up the axe and starts walking towards the door.
Hey, hang on.
What?
You're not going to do that by yourself, are you? You might need a friend.
You don't even know what I'm going to do.
I wasn't offering. I was just saying you might need a friend. And I continue to drink my drink.
The runes on the axe flare red slightly and then subside. And he just keeps walking.
Well, I could say that as a mysterious loner myself, I could probably just take care of this problem too, by myself. on my
Nobody's
own,
going to take
as
care
a
of this
lone
problem.
wolf. And I start walking toward the door as well. Giving Francis a nod on my way there.
Martha,
Yes.
what does this job pay?
Well, out of character. What?
While you're, I was gonna say, while you're thinking of that,
Leave it to the Dutch guy to ask how much it can make off of this.
I mean, I'm doing improv over here, so I haven't really thought about the economy of this
No,
world.
it's fine. Go ahead and think about it. I'm gonna grab Jed and pull him aside a bit. Like, nobody's
Yes.
solving any problem until we get to the bottom of what's actually happening. I need to ask questions. I need to ask some questions. I need to get some answers.
Okay. Yeah.
For all we know, this isn't a problem at all.
Who are we going to ask?
That's a question I need answered.
I mean, Francis over there with the hole in his neck, he seems just fine. Doesn't seem to be hurting anyone. So maybe it's not a problem. Maybe we could just make friends with all of them.
My point exactly.
He does look a little like a husk of a person more than a person, but
Okay.
he's not like moaning like a zombie or anything.
Francis, and I call him. I like wave him over.
He kind of like he kind of shambles towards you, like kind of like in a daze.
Francis, you're feeling just fine, right? This isn't actually a problem.
Yeah, I'm feeling fine, I guess. Kind of bright. It's kind of bright in here, but
I look over to the barmaid. Okay, sounds like there's no problem, so we'll take our payment now.
payment? You haven't done anything yet.
Oh, it's nothing to do.
The dead are
How
coming.
much was it?
alive.
How much
Yeah,
was it,
but
Martha?
He's asking
What's your
how much the job pays. We weren't told.
Yeah.
Oh, 100 gold.
Okay.
Gold.
And he turns around on his stool a little bit and he points over to Francis. He says, "So, and that was your husband, right?
Correct.
So that means you're available right now."
Well, let me have a talk with my husband, and maybe I'll see you next week.
I'll take that promise in addition to the 100 gold. You got a man. And he stands up and he joins the other two.
So inappropriate.
And as you're walking over, the Dragonborn just pushes open the door. This is all
The Dragonborn
pointless.
Dragon Lord.
This is all pointless. And he just walks out.
Yeah, I'm also edgy, and I walk out.
I don't want to stay, but something compels me to move forward and I join them.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Who actually
So-
summoned you guys? I'm going to ask them basically about how did we get this summons, but you probably know more than we do.
I mean, y'all can make shit up about that.
I received a letter in the mail. It was a parchment with gold ink, and it told me to come to this tavern. And as soon as I had finished reading it, it disappeared into ash.
The man I found on the road must not have read his because it was in his pockets when he fell.
Well,
was-
maybe it was a postman.
I was tasked to do this after a series of fortunate and unfortunate events. I got caught up with myself a little bit, and basically I worked something out with one of the members of staff, and well, if I did this little thing, then everything would be fine. So, you know,
Settling debts.
oh, more than that, my friend. But yes,
Yes, my dark and brooding deity also encouraged me to come and do this for reasons.
You got a letter and
I don't
your
believe in
deity.
deities.
Yes, I suppose they're interconnected somehow, which will be improvised later.
I don't believe in deities. They're terrible. They're figments.
So you're saying the postman I killed might have been a cleric of this deity. Damn.
That sounds. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just what I need. Another god on my trail.
I serve the Lord of Death, Morticius.
Tell of him. Legend throughout the land.
All right. So how this game works is I'm going to introduce challenges for you to accomplish. And the first challenge in this game is always getting to the quote unquote dungeon, which I've described as being the entrance to the underground section of the necropolis. So I think the first challenge is getting to this like tomb entrance that she spoke of. But the problem is is the fog is coming down the hill, and it is filling the whole valley with a thick, viscous fog. And you can barely see like 10 feet ahead of you. So how do y'all brave your way through the fog to get to the tomb entrance?
I drop down onto my knees and I say, "Oh Lord of Death, light the way to this labyrinth of death." And I hold 2 knives in the air while I do this.
Like tuning forks?
Yeah, like tuning forks, exactly. So I'm hoping that my deity will step in and guide my path.
Okay. It sounds like you're either rolling 2 or 3 dice there.
I'd say that's 2 probably. Want me to go ahead and roll?
So like sort of revealing that you
one for
work for
every knife.
Morticius, the god of death.
Morticius. Yeah, which
Okay.
For context for you, Devin, is a character that I played in D&D last week. So.
Yeah.
It's a 3.
3.
Which on the table shows I do something middling but effective.
Yeah.
Do you want me to narrate that or
Yeah. I mean, how does this go using your knives as tuning forks?
So I put my knives up in the air and let's see. I think as I do this and I'm looking out in the distance, my knives begin to glow and a beam comes out of them and points in the direction briefly of the labyrinth entrance.
Cool. So you deal 3 damage to this 6-point challenge clock.
Okay, I need help.
So yeah, you okay, so what happens is you illuminate the direction of the entrance to the tomb. Like the god of death uses your knives to like make a beam of ghostly energy that parts the fog. And it creates this sort of like swirling portal that leads right to the path. But it's almost like the fog is trying to resist this magic that you're casting here. And as you sort of like walk through this portal made of fog, what look like arms and hands made out of fog start like reaching down through this like I'm imagining like one of those like glass tunnels that are in aquariums sometimes.
Yeah.
But like made out of fog, and then at the edges of it, like hands are coming down and trying to grasp y'all.
Like the river Styx, where you have all the hands coming out of the river. Yeah.
Exactly. So Jed's character, who has not really revealed their name yet, right?
I am the legendary Winton Whimsicality.
Do you say this as you cast this knife spell?
It's part of the ritual.
Yeah. Yes.
I am the
Lord of
legendary.
Death. Oh Lord of Death. This is the legendary Winton Whimsicality. Guide my path towards the dead. That's what I say.
So you half solved the problem. Who wants to pick up the rest?
Seeing him use deity magic, which I definitely don't believe in, I give out a sigh and I'm like, you're
you don't believe in it morally? Because it did just happen.
You like think it's all you think it's all like illusions and tricks?
Smoke and mirrors, like
Okay.
you just got the sun on your blade.
We are
It's just
literally
silly.
surrounded by fog, so not infeasible.
And that is what I'm gonna solve. So I use my sorcerer's magic to just blow away the fog in our immediate area so we can see more clearly.
Okay. What does this magic look like?
So it starts at my staff. My staff basically starts glowing at the top as if there is a crystal there, but like there isn't, and there's like this sort of like mist that is starting to come from it. And as it reaches down, it comes in front of my mouth, and I just gently blow on that, and it just magnifies into like a gale that blows all the mist around me in a circle like away. Hopefully.
Excellent. How many dice are you trying to roll?
Gosh, I think I'm not gonna one up him. I'm just gonna show him the way that it's supposed to go. So I'm also gonna go for 2.
Okay, but are you like revealing something about your backstory, or are you taking a cold shot?
Yeah, you have to reveal your backstory if
good
you
point.
want to use a second dice.
Fair enough. In that case, I look at you and I say, Winton whimsicality, huh? Well, let's have Blade Shadowfire show you how it really works.
Oh.
Ooh. Blade Shadowfire.
That's a great name.
So I rolled a 1 and a 4. So then I go for the 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 4.
Tell me.
Four's
Tell
good.
me. 4 says you do something impressive, I guess, or you do something
So-
cool, I guess.
So it blows away the wind, which in and of itself is cool, and the magic looks great. But like that's really it. It's practical, I guess. But like that's not the epitome of magic. It's just
Maybe some of these
Yeah.
like fog arms are like pushed back a little bit by your.
Yeah, they're still sort of floating in the air, but like outside of like the bubble that I created within it.
They're reaching,
Nice.
but they're now out of reach.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. This gives you a perfect path to head to the entrance to this tomb.
Nice.
So I think it is like one of those big like crypts that has like a big stone block, and it has like a huge statue on it. Who do we think the statue is of?
Morticious.
Ooh, what does Morticious look like?
Morticious has a top hat and a skeleton face.
Ooh, nice.
Is it a skeletal mask or like a skull that he wears, or is it literally he has a skeleton face, like a skull?
I think in the deity version he has a skeleton face. Yes.
Oh God.
So skeletal face with a top hat. Yeah. And like, is the flower in there as well? Because like I think that's a very
And there's a
Yeah,
flower in his coat pocket.
Right.
yeah.
And it's like
dead
gorgeous.
it's half wilted. It's on the cusp of life and death.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. So y'all march down this cleared path to the crypt that has the huge statue of Morticious on top. And right at the door that descends into the deeper parts of the tomb, you see a collection of figures standing at the like stairs to the entrance. I'm imagining this is almost kind of like a ziggurat or something like that with the big statue on top. And you have to like
Okay.
kind of go up the steps a little bit to then descend. And the entrance is being guarded by 4 figures who are
Hmm.
all wearing black cloaks, and the black cloaks are covered in like constellation symbols. And you can kind of infer that these are minions of the Widower. You infer this because even though they're wearing cloaks, they all have like pockets in front of their cloaks, and those pockets are full of like what's a good flower used for like mourning?
Orchid.
Like what kind of flowers?
Lily.
Oh, lily. Yeah.
Oh yeah, lily. They all have like lilies kind of in their front pockets to denote that they are minions of the Widower, the most dangerous wife guy of all.
Do they look
think,
hostile?
Depends. Are you approaching like stealthily, or are you just kind of walking right up to this place?
I'm looking for answers.
Who are you asking?
I'm asking all of you.
No, I meant Daniel. Who are you asking?
I'm going to find whoever's in this place, whoever runs this place. I'm going to get my answers.
But
said
that,
there's
that was
some-
that was a question out of character about how you, the players,
no.
think your character's approach.
I'm walking up like I'm going to the grocery store. Like someone in here. I'm looking for the manager. I need to find the manager, and I will be damned if somebody tries to stop me.
As your character starts to walk up these stairs, I think that I like throw my cloak over my head and hide like behind one of the steps of the ziggurat, trying to blend in just to see if they attack you.
These statues, you said they have constellations on their capes.
Well, the statue is on top of the ziggurat, but there are people at the entrance to the tomb that have these constellation cloaks with lilies in their front pockets.
Looking down at my pajamas, do they match to the
No.
constellations?
I think that's up to you.
That's-
buddy.
That's very unfortunate.
I mean, Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about how this game works is you can start shoehorning in that like you were a disciple of the widower or something like that, but he betrayed you. Like you
No,
you forced
hate
your shit into my shit.
So I hate deities. So I definitely am not a worshipper. However, I might have stolen this pajama from a worshipper. So yeah, it's actually identical. It's just this is what they sleep in, and that is what they work in.
Yeah. Well, just to be clear, so there's the deity that is the
They have
statue.
matching
but
uniforms
these
for
people seem to
sleeping.
these people seem to be cultists of a specific wizard.
Cool. Okay. Sure. I stole a pair of pajamas from them.
Okay. So this is now going to be an 8-step challenge to get past these minions of the villain to proceed. So, Daniel, what does your character do here?
I start marching up the stairs. So first of all, the battle axe that he has is latched onto his back, not through any perceived means. It's just sort of like hovering there about a half an inch off his back. And he's got one hand on the haft of it as he walks forward, and he starts pointing at them and says, "You, bring me to your master, whoever's bringing people back from the dead." And I glare at them with fury.
So you're trying to intimidate?
I'm trying to it is my right to talk to whoever's here. They will not stop. Yes. So I'm basically walking up with all of the confidence of I am going to talk to this person and you're going to bring me there.
Gotcha. Well, this is an 8-step challenge now.
Right.
So how many dice are you trying to roll here?
I have a very particular reason to talk to this person, and I don't know if it would be wise to vocalize it, or like there's no real reason for him to vocalize it, but I can reveal it to use a second die.
Yeah, you have to reveal it,
Okay.
buddy.
Yep.
I mean, you only have to reveal it if you want the die for it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it is relevant to his backstory. Someone very important to him has been lost, and he wants to bring them back. And this man may know, this sorcerer, whoever, may know how to do that.
Okay.
I don't know.
So you're getting that extra die because you're just showing passion that like I need to see this person, and this is important to me.
The moment I heard people were rising from the grave, this isn't a job anymore. This is other meaning for him.
Personal.
Nothing personal, but this is personal.
Nothing personal.
This time it's personal.
Nothing business. It's just personal. Yeah. Okay. So we cool with
Excellent.
doing
Roll
2?
me 2d6.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And is it? Oh, I got a 2. Is it the combined amount
Okay.
or just the highest one?
It's just the highest.
Yeah, 2.
Okay, so you deal 2 damage to the challenge, which is you always make progress no matter what in this game. However, you take 2 points of aloofness. And
I don't care about the fools
have
that are with me.
have you had many people close to you die?
I have had many people close to me die, but this is the one I cared about, and she died in a way that I could not stop.
I'm an adventurer. I've had many people close to me die. That's what I do.
For just extra use of that die, the reason why, you noticed if you looked close enough, the amulet that he held actually is partially shattered and reforged, and it looks like it may have suffered some. It looks like something he wouldn't be carrying initially, and it looks like it suffered some great harm at some point.
Yeah. All right. So one of these acolytes of the widower, like probably like a big guy, even taller than you, unfortunately, they kind of like get in your way, and they're like, "Whoa, there, buddy. We all have to follow the path of the acolyte to be able to address the widower himself. We're all trying to revive those who are important to us. What makes you so special?" And they kind of just like get in your face about this.
If you stop me, there's going to be a few
They
more
kind
bodies
of
to
shut you
revive.
down. So, Daniel, have you revealed your name yet?
I have a reason I haven't yet. No.
Okay, cool. So while Daniel's character is kind of squaring up with these guys, what do the others do?
Jen, do you have anything?
I can, but you go ahead.
All right. I see this happening, and I, being way more diplomatic than this ruffian that so happened to think he can just barge in there, I stand next to him and I just like put a hand on his shoulder and I'm like, urge him to the side and step forward. I said, indeed, I'm sorry, I'm late for today's ceremony. We would like to have entry. These two are initiates. Let us through, please.
Looks like you haven't been through the onboarding yet. You're not.
Well, I have.
I
I was sleeping. I overslept. I rushed over here as quickly as I could.
Okay. How many dice are you trying to roll to fight this challenge?
Just one. Just one. Like I'm trying this, but I'm half-assing this.
Okay.
It's a 2.
It's a 2. Okay. You just narrowly avoid having to take aloofness, but you only do two damage to the challenge. But we're at 4 of 8 now. Yeah, this person's like, yeah. Okay, I understand that y'all are initiates, but there is a proper order to things. I guess I can escort you down and take you to Susan, and she can help you with the onboarding and get you the proper uniform.
Susan, huh? Yeah, I believe I know her.
All right. Are we all ready?
So how much damage have we done to this challenge so far?
4 out of 8, but like sort of the consequence here is that like they're willing to believe you, but they're going to escort you down. So you still have these minions with you.
So yeah, in that case, like I'm gonna stay hidden and sneak behind them to make it to be ready to attack if needed.
How do they start?
So not make my presence known as they get taken into this ziggurat.
How do they like grab our arms or anything? Because I'm not moving from this point. Are they trying to push us down the path?
Okay. So you've only dealt 2s to this, so I think maybe your lies are kind of not really hitting. So it seems like they're going to now lead you in under duress. They pull out Chris knives. Those are those curvy ones, the wiggly ones, like the ceremonial daggers. And all 4 of them start to glow with like a ghostly energy, as if they're like activating some sort of power that they have. Like, move along, and I'm sure Susan can take care of y'all.
I don't give a skunks.
They start trying to escort you.
Right. So
I think it's time. Go ahead.
Oh, you have something. You can go ahead. I was...
Okay. I think it's time for me to reveal to all of you other players that my character actually used to be a part of this cult, and they were under their thumb for a long time. But I've been trying to fight my way out of my past creeds and obligations to these false leaders, and that's part of my dark journey. And so as such, I'm familiar with these ziggurats. There are many of them throughout these lands, and I happen to know a secret way around to get behind these people. And I'm going to sneak up the ziggurat to the side, and then from behind them rain down a shower of knives from my staff of unending knives, or staff of unending blades. I forget what I called it, but basically, I'm gonna sneak up the ziggurat,
the edgy
and
stuff.
I'm going to pull out a bunch of knives from my staff and start throwing them at these cultists from behind them.
The staff of edges.
Okay.
I think that's 3 dice. I'm not sure if that's. I'm kind of calling.
Well,
I forget exactly how called shots work.
I mean, you just have to call a shot. You need to proclaim that you're gonna do something sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna stab all of these guys in the back without them even noticing. Okay.
Wait, how is it a call shot if you're trying to do them without them noticing?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, he's
What do you
calling
mean?
out what he's going to do to us.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
Right?
Who's you got to
To
call
me,
it
the whole
So,
point
like,
of
what would
I'm
be an
going to
example
rain
of a called
daggers
shot?
upon you.
Yeah.
so since it's like a way that can increase your effectivity or increase the amount of aloofness that you gain, I imagine call shots are things that you're doing sort of publicly, so that there's like everybody can see you
Oh, I
fail if
see.
you don't accomplish it.
Oh, I see. My character calls the shot. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna sneak up behind them and shout very loudly, taste the wrath of Winton, and then start showering knives down on them. Is that good enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Taste the
Like
rain.
it can be as simple as like the anime thing of like announcing the name of the like move you're doing.
It's a 2.
Rain of edge.
Oh
Wait, with 3?
wait,
Yeah.
Wow.
what did you roll?
1, 1, and 2.
Wow,
Holy shit.
that's nothing.
That's amazing. Taste the
Yeah,
wrath
so,
of Winton.
Taste the wrath of the unending blades, and I just start chucking knives, and they all just miss.
Okay, so there was 4 guys. One of them you do hit with one of your knives and he goes down. The other one, like one of them runs away, and you have two people left that are like standing their ground.
Yes,
But-
fear me.
But you take 3 points of aloofness for this.
Oh, 3. Okay.
So
makes sense.
just a reminder for y'all and the audience, if you reach 6 points of aloofness, your character becomes too much of an edgy loner and they have to go off on their own, and you immediately make a new character and conveniently introduce them to whatever scene. But if somehow you burn through 2 characters, you can bring back your first and show what edgy adventures they've been on since they
I've
left.
decided to be less aloof.
You're right. Yeah.
All right.
I fail at being aloof.
As I
Excellent.
see
So,
this cloud of dagger coming down, like do we get to like join in with the attack?
I mean, like this has gone battle mode now after Winton's knife flurry attack here. I'm trying to figure out like why you take 3 points of aloofness though. Is this just really embarrassing that you like just
Yeah.
really whiff?
So-
we both look up at him and go, disgraceful.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm certainly embarrassed that I missed. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of it.
He's running out of knives in his unending knife staff.
Maybe I'm just like, oh, you guys standing in the background's distracted me. That's why. That's why my daggers didn't hit.
I know why your daggers didn't hit. As soon as they were about to leave your hand, you glanced up at the statue of Morticius in the corner of your eye, and he looks down at you disapprovingly.
I love that. That's really good. Yeah. Let's go with that. Oh, my master disapproves of me.
All right, so we've done
Good.
2, 2, and 2 damage to this.
We're really bad at this game. Yeah.
Barry, you got something?
Who wants to wrap this challenge up now that
So
you've
there's-
gone
there's-
full like combat?
There's
has
2
broken
more,
out.
right? There's 4
Yeah.
and 1 ran away, 1 was killed. So there's 2
Yeah.
more. Sure. I grabbed my staff like halfways and like put it horizontally and look at the 2 in front of me. I said, "Starts to be you, but we really need to get in." And I just pushed that staff towards them. And as the staff hits both of them, there's this sickening green colored ray that comes from both of the tips of the staff and that hits both of these unfortunate souls in front of me.
I
And
mean,
they
we'll
both-
See.
We'll see.
Well,
yeah.
Well, they're unfortunate whether or not this succeeds, because like, it does look.
They're gonna get
And this-
oozed regardless.
Yeah, and there's this really filthy like green hue that washes over them, trying to basically suck the very life essence out of them.
Excellent. So, how many dice are you trying to roll? You start with 1 automatically. You can get 1 for backstory reveal, and you can get an additional for called shot.
Sure, I'll add another one in because like we need to get this done. So as I do that, you can see like in my eyes that I'm lusting after the after this kill. There is just something in me that has awakened. As I can see that this is hopefully, probably going to like suck the life out of them. There's a passion in there that you could either fit under just this desire of absolute power, or maybe something else. But at a cursory glance, it's probably this lust for absolute power that I
Nice.
have.
So everybody sees you going sicko mode as you try to drain
Yeah.
these guys. Okay. Roll me 2d6.
That's a 1 and a 6. So
Nice. Okay,
That's a
so
6. Very
it said you do
aloof
6
roll.
points of damage. You only needed 2, so you overkill this challenge. But you also take 1 point of aloofness for getting a 6. And yeah, this like you drain this like almost like ectoplasm out of these people, and they just kind of like fall to their knees like as
Ectoplasm.
lifeless husks. And yeah, your staff now glows with this like sickly, ghostly energy.
like you can
That's
just
great,
see
man.
me quiver after that, like for a second, as I need to like get like get out of my ecstasy for a second or two.
Ew.
Yeah, that's the correct response there.
I take a
All
step
right.
away from
There's
him.
one mechanic. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just take a step away from like mercenaries.
Okay, so there is a mechanic I want to introduce here now that we've completed a challenge and also taken points of aloofness. Every time you complete a challenge, you can then have a little like regroup session where you can reduce your aloofness score by 1 if you have a moment of vulnerability with your companions and reveal something about your dark past.
Pass.
Does anybody want to heal 1 point of aloofness by
Yes.
having a moment of vulnerability with your fellow adventurers here?
Yes. I turn to my companions and I say, yes, I used to be a part of this cult. And these ziggurats were the home of mental torture for me. It is painful to return.
You said you came from the Shadow Isles?
No.
You mentioned.
I hail from the dark forest,
Well, I come from the
but I have
Misty
been
Moors.
to many, many places.
I come from the Misty Moors of the Shadow Isles, and there are many ziggurats of such, but they are mostly crumbling. We drove out their reign. That
Yeah.
cult is no longer part of my home.
You've done right by your people then.
And you say you're part of this cult?
Not anymore. I technically still under its thumb, but I am trying to escape.
You best escape.
Are you both trying to
I've-
reduce your aloofness by 1 from the scene?
Yes, I was gonna,
I am.
Cool.
I've tried my entire life to escape the clutches of death. It seems to follow me everywhere I go. He grasps onto the haft of the axe for a moment and then lets it go again. Everywhere I go.
Very brooding.
This is kind of like a nice little moment between bros, though. Like, seems
It's
like
a bro
y'all are.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah. It's wholesome. Y'all,
Oof.
death can't escape me. Oh, yeah, true, bro. Death can't escape me either.
You have an
This is like
interesting
conversations
staff
that I
there.
have at the bar anyway. It's just like another day for me.
You have an interesting staff there. You can knives on endlessly rain. Very.
As you say this, I pull on one end and a knife comes out and I throw it at the wall and it just sticks to the wall and it goes ching. Yeah, I'm pretty good with a knife.
What are the quality of the blades? And yes, you are skilled.
Metal.
Impressive.
The blades are made of metal. Yeah. Good stuff.
I'd be able to make a living in a town as a blacksmith.
Oh, not that kind of metal, like the music kind. It's what powers my staff.
That's pretty heavy.
And he throws up some horns.
What's the strange fellow with the other staff doing while this is going on?
Blade? Oh, Blade is still like, reeling from his ecstasy. Like he needs a tissue at this point.
Yeah.
Like he's still like he's there.
I'm definitely like looking away from him. Like, man, it's very strange.
Just give me a moment. This is very important to me. Like he savors like, just every moment, every memory from the person that he's just like sucked the life out
y'all
of.
are bonding over 3 dead bodies at the entrance to a tomb.
In a way, right?
Where do you think the 4th went?
They ran inside.
I guess we best follow them.
If I'm ever to truly escape this cult, I must pursue. And also the job, we were hired to do that too, I guess.
Okay. I think I can walk again. Let's do this.
If you live long enough, you'll find that the jobs don't matter as much anymore.
I agree. It's what you get afterwards.
Ugh. He just walks away.
Do we descend down into the tomb?
Yes. Into the tomb.
All right. Oh, also, like I might not remember to remind y'all that y'all can do that in between challenges every time. So just remember that if you want to reduce your aloofness after a challenge is complete, let me know if you want to have a scene where you have a vulnerable moment with your bros.
Sure.
Speaking of your bros, as you descend into the darkness, you feel yourself descending for a while. It seems like this is a really long staircase, and it's very, very dark. It comes to a point where it's so dark you can't really see anything. But eventually you see a light in the distance, and the light gets closer and closer as you continue to descend down the stairs. And you see a little campfire. It seems like there is a camp at a little like landing in the staircase that seems to be occupied by a group of people, kind of on the way to the depths of this tomb. What do y'all do?
Are there any people there?
There are.
Hmm.
There looks to be some sort of like adventuring party or something.
What do they look like?
They look familiar.
Really? Oh, I walk over.
Yeah, this is your old adventuring party. The gang's back together. You thought they all died.
Valera, I never thought I saw you again, especially after. Well, I hope you remember the good times.
Do you just like walk up and start saying that?
Just one of them in particular. Like, I ignore the rest of the party. Like, Valera. This is like a gorgeous blonde half elf, by the way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she has like an elegant bow and arrow, very like skimpy outfit.
Yeah.
She stands up. She's
leather
like,
armor.
she stands up. She's like taller than you. Blade, is that you?
In the flesh.
We thought you died.
I know, but death can't take me yet.
Were you hired for this as well?
I was. You have to understand, I do all of this in memory of, well, all of you. He finally regards the rest of the party, too.
Yeah.
And I brought friends.
And when you say in memory of you, there seems to be like a confusion that comes over her face as she like suddenly remembers that it was her and them that died. but like, wait, why is she on this adventure? What is she doing here? And she's starting to look like concerned and confused, and she looks at the others, and they are sharing a similar bewilderment in this moment.
Does she look dead?
I mean, they all look kind of not right, like as if they died and then decomposed, and then some like weird magic happened that started to like recompose them.
Oh my.
Very specifically, not all right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, like, how
God.
all right is she?
It was weird. Like when you approached, like she had this flooding of memories that she was trying to like figure out, and she kind of went off of instinct and was like, "Oh yeah, you're my friend. We're adventurers. We're on an adventure." But then like the more you talk to her, the more she was like having like an existential crisis of like, "Oh wait, no, I'm dead. We're all dead. Like Blade is the one of us that survived." And basically the challenge here is I rolled a social dilemma. You are confronted with your former party of adventurers who all died, and they're all having like an existential crisis, and they seem on the edge of maybe like freaking out. And that can be dangerous because they're former adventurers with, skills and moves to do violence. So how are y'all dealing with this situation?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk over and say, we don't need to be enemies. We can all be friends. And I pull out this jar of ooze from my cloak and magically summon a table in front of me, which is one of the spells that I know. It's called Summon Table. And I set a bunch of glasses on this table.
Wait. Is it Summon Lesser Table or Summon Greater Table?
It's the second level spell. So yeah, greater.
Lesser. No. Okay.
Yeah, I can cast it first or second level.
I'm gonna rules lawyer your made up spell. No,
Yeah.
actually, you don't have enough spell slots to summon.
Yeah, right. For any viewers watching, we are joking right now. There are no spell slots in this game. Okay. Yeah. So I cast Summon Greater Table, and a large table emerges, almost like a bar, with glasses already set on top of it.
Table.
And I start pouring ooze into these glasses, and I say, "We can all be friends here. We don't need to. We don't need to be enemies or have any tension between us. And I suspect that after this drink, we'll get along much better." Which I'm going to call that a cold shot, if that's okay.
Yeah. So that
Okay.
sounds like 2 dice. This
That's
is,
2
by the
dice.
way, a 10-step challenge.
Okay, so
Nice.
that's 2 dice. That's to try to make friends. 6. So I'm a little
6.
more aloof, but
Yeah, like what? Do you just get like really overconfident here? Like you're a fucking
like,
face. You're a fucking leader. You got this.
I make friends everywhere I go. I'm a charismatic guy, and I fucking got this. Like, there's no way I'm gonna fail at making these people my friends
Yeah,
because I'm just too fucking cool.
yeah. I think you come across as like pretty smug, even though you are. Well, okay. So 6 says you do something totally badass.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I summoned a
he's
table
pouring
with drinks on it. That's pretty
he's
badass.
As he's pouring, though, he lets the jug loose and he starts like cleaning something, and the jug continues to pour magically.
Yes.
And he's like
Perfect.
spinning glass, like, "Hey, you come here often."
Yeah, and not only that, but I'd say that the something totally badass would be that the other party is actually almost entranced by this, like semi-charmed.
Yeah. But since you gain a point of aloofness, I'm still going to say that you were incredibly smug about this.
Totally. Yes.
He's like looking over his shoulder, like, you see this? Yeah.
Well, okay. I think
Call this one a Moscow Fuel.
Uh-huh.
I think to these adventurers you seem really cool, but to the rest of your party you seem really smug.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
I love it.
We don't have time for this. We don't have time for drinks and pleasantries. What do you know about this place, you lot?
I'm like charming and you're intimidating. This is gonna go well.
Yeah. Barry, who in your team would have been the like super like knowledgeable one? Would it have been you, or do you think there's like a more like intellectual type in your party?
No, they're very kind of you to ask, but no, that would have been me.
Okay, fair. So what was that woman's name again?
Valera.
Valera. So Valera is like, well, honestly, I'm not sure. We were dead, but now we're back, and it seems like there's some terrible magic afoot. It must be deeper within. The source of the magic feels like it's coming from below. I can use my elf senses to I can sense where the magic is coming from. It's coming from deep, deep below.
Uh-huh.
If you're not going to say it, I'm going to say it, Barry.
So, you know what I'm building up to. So, I think we need all the help we can get at the moment. And I'm glad that we can be friends here and try to delve deeper into this, together, symbiotically. Perhaps, we can... You already have a camp set up. Maybe we can spend the night here and try to get a little deeper together. See what we can come up with.
Yes, and if I get a good night's rest, then I can summon another table. So,
yeah,
There's no time for any of that. There's no time for taking a rest. What do your elf eyes see?
Gee. Oh, well, Barry, are you trying to make a move here before?
I don't need to make a move. We already have had countless moves in the past, but I'm trying to remind her of the good times.
Okay. I was trying to figure out if this is like you trying to make a first move now that you've like seen her again and you've had time to think about how much you were actually in love with Valera.
Love is
I
a
mean, she
strong
might be
word.
undead, but she still looks okay.
Well, yeah. As Daniel's character, who's yet unnamed, asked her what her elf eyes sees. She says, "I see the strands of death," and she like puts her head back and like closes her eyes and like is starting to visualize the strands of death. They lead ever downward to the sepulcher, the heart.
Well, looks like we know where we're going. All of you stay here, talk with your
Hang on.
friends.
Dragonborn. It's been a rough day. We've done a lot. We killed people today. We've had a drink at a bar unknown. Perhaps this would be the right moment to settle and consider our options.
It's not enough.
It's enough for me, he says as he looks back at Valera.
You can stay.
Is this a party split?
It's never enough.
I think, did you drink my ooze, Daniel?
I'm not.
Drink my ooze.
I'm not.
As you asked it, I asked the same to
I would say that anybody who drank the ooze feels a calming sensation.
I have not drank your ooze.
Maybe. Have a sip of the ooze.
I'm not putting your ooze anywhere near my mouth.
It's fine. You're just missing out.
I am open to experiment, and I take a glass.
Burned a spell slot for nothing.
All right.
Also,
I will.
just as a quick heads up, you said adventuring party. There's multiple people down here, right? We're totally ignoring like the rest of them.
You explicitly said that you ignored the other ones.
That's pretty funny. I think that we'd have a better chance if we stick together, and if this Dragonborn is going to delve deeper, then I suppose I should follow.
Do you know anything more? I'm going to address the party. Do you know anything more about what brought you to this state? Basically, if they can tell me more information about whoever or whatever is behind this, he's willing to stay and listen and
Yeah.
learn more.
Yeah. What's the role going to be?
Oh, So he's I guess just one die because he wants information on this.
So you're doing like
what-
you did like a persuasion or an intimidation or something along those lines.
it, he's basically made it known that if he doesn't hear more about this, if he doesn't learn more, he's going in to learn more himself. And so if there's any intent from that party on keeping us together and trying to figure things out, then if they want to stop me, kind of deal. So
Yeah.
should I roll?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Damn it, I got a 6.
Oh, I mean, damn it, it's a good success. You just take 1 point of aloofness.
I'm getting ever more aloof. I feel ever more detached from you foolish mortals. I don't know.
Yeah. One of the other adventurers like pipes up for the first time. Blade, it's nice to see you. Do you remember me? It's me, Bingo. And Bingo is a little halfling, and he's filthy. But he has a bandolier like full of knives. And he's like, the last thing I remember, or the first thing I remember, was a dream. I dreamt of Morticius, the god of death. He pulled me out of the abyssal ooze and onto his boat. And he said, I'm bringing you back to the mortal world. The time of living and the time of dead is over. It is now the time of all.
To be fair, that sounds like
Halfling.
something Mort would do.
Halfling, what was your name-o?
Bingo.
I've had a similar dream, but I'm not dead. I was never dead or pulled back from the dead. I've always been alive, but I had a similar dream.
But you're of the living.
I like look down at my hands. Am I? Am I?
We are of the living, but there is one who is dead who I seek. I need to speak to this Morticius. Someone involved. Whoever is behind this. I need to see if I can acquire their services.
As you say that, you hear a ha 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 ha. You hear like a very ominous laugh echoing.
That was
through
not funny in the slightest.
And you like look up to like see where the sound is coming from. And when you turn your eyes back to this adventuring party, they're all skeletons.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Not again.
As this laugh happens, I feel the pull as if by handcuffs tied to a strand toward this laughter.
I immediately turn to Valera. She's also a skeleton, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is she pretty?
I mean,
No,
depends what
Barry.
you're
No.
into.
Bad Barry.
Barry, I know that you
As
love the
skeleton
necromancer
goes, right?
class. I know that you love the necromancer class, but totally different.
All right,
Totally different.
So I head down into this tunnel.
They didn't call it boning for nothing.
Once I
Stop. Oh my god.
before we proceed, does anybody want a moment of vulnerability to reduce their aloofness?
When
No,
I-
I'm cool.
when I was part of this cult, they tied these necro cuffs to my wrists, which now pull me ever further toward my fate. And even though I came here today by choice, I would have come even if I didn't want to be a part of it at all, because I am forced to by the forces of fate and death.
How did they get bound to you? Some kind of ritual? Can you unbind them?
Yes, a cult ritual. And I believe they can be unbound, but it would require killing the widower once and for all.
See, this is what you get for believing in ghost stories like that.
Do you believe in ghost stories?
I'm living one.
You better start believing in ghost stories.
Good callback.
Yeah.
Or quote, rather.
In one. I know what it's like to be bound to death. And I know what it's like to seek release. And I looks over at Barry, kind of like squeamishly.
I felt it. I felt your eyes on me.
If I can help you get unbound from this curse, maybe that'll go one step in clearing my soul from mine.
I think only I can remove it in the end. But yeah, I help me, please. Yeah, you can help. Yeah. I'm not saying no. I'm just being edgy. Please help.
You have to be careful. You have to be careful not to become too aloof. I almost believed you there for a moment.
Is there such thing as too aloof?
Your edge is
Somewhere around like 5 or 6. I don't know.
your edge is beginning to cut you off from those around you.
Oh shit.
Damn.
True, though.
That cuts deep, bro.
Balanced on the blade of misfortune. Okay, I'm done.
Who's
The
already
the
singing
fellowship
Aloofness
now
song?
is on the edge of a knife.
So you said that the adventuring party that we encountered are all skeletons. Are they like dead skeleton? Like, I mean, yeah, makes sense.
Oh,
right? But,
they're
like,
they're fucking dead. They're not even
What are-
moving. They're just
they're not animate.
no.
What are their
Oh.
loots?
Bones.
I mean, you tell me.
Good question.
I
take.
think a couple of them have little packets of ooze, which I add to my little fermenting collection.
That way you make
I'll
your
take the
drink
loot
from.
I was not
from
a-
the bard. I'll take the loot from the bard because that is definitely worth something.
Who's the bard?
Valera, like that was Bingo, wasn't it?
I imagined him as like sort of a dirty little thief character.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so he stole a loot from a bard, so I'm taking that.
Who's the bard though?
That was Archibald, who lived only to play music in his hometown. But
Don't
Also
you mean
known as Archie.
Archibald?
Archibald.
Archibald, yes.
God.
Archibald.
Archibald the bard, yes. Horrible. And from Valera, she probably doesn't have anything on her but the clothes on her back, so I'm taking those as a reminder of happier times.
They are like dusty and moth-eaten because they were on her decomposing corpse.
That's okay.
All right.
So what you're saying is that that's
Uh,
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
aged like a wine.
I'm gonna take a 40-second bio break. Y'all can work that one out.
God.
I'm actually going to take a 30-second break as well. I'm
All right.
gonna
I
grab
don't
a
have
beer.
time for this.
Bye.
I've got a
Same here.
widower to kill. Okay, yeah.
We will be right back, everybody.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We were where we were down in the
Yeah, being a
ziggurat,
ziggurat.
and we just
Around
Yeah.
about the bones.
So
Our old party's dead.
are Daniel's unnamed character and Winton able to get Blade away from his dead ex-girlfriend?
oh, she wasn't a
'Cause he's
girlfriend.
being
She
really
was-
weird about it.
She wasn't a girlfriend. She was just an interest of mine.
Oh.
No, we are not even attempting to get him away from anything. We're just ignoring as much as we can.
You sound like
Just
a
walking
creepy
away.
stalker.
Pacing near the entrance to the stairway, going down deeper.
Excellent. Well, as you descend deeper down the stairs into the necropolis, so it was dark before, like you couldn't see shit, but somehow it gets darker, like darker than dark, darker than you even thought possible.
Mm.
Now, this will be a first come first serve question, but who amongst the three of you do you think is the most perceptive?
Probably me.
Yeah,
Alright,
Like
that makes
so-
sense.
like a roguey type. Yeah.
Yeah. The other two are about to step forward into the abyss, but you notice that these stairs end, and you are just perceptive and quick enough to put out your hand to stop them from like falling into the abyss.
Wait.
And the current challenge is the abyss. You're surrounded by the abyss. It is all around you. It is hard to even know where to proceed. It seems like to get down farther, you're gonna have to fall somehow, but it's so dark you can't see anything. And this 12-step challenge is called Descend into the Abyss.
Where are we? You've been in these ziggurats before. Where are we, Winton?
We are
said
in the
that?
abyss. We are
You've
in
never
the
seen it like
abyss.
this before, though.
It is not usually this dark. This presence is new.
More abyssal than normal?
It's usually like 55% abyssal. This is like 80% abyss.
The more math, the more abyssal.
Your
So you know your arcana.
Yeah.
Your former adventuring partner mentioned the strands of death. It might just be something we can use. And he reaches behind him and he grabs the hilt of his axe and he pulls it out. And you can see that the symbols that have been floating around it slowly off the edge have flared a little bit brighter. And in the dark, they're almost absorbing the darkness. And he holds it up and he says, "While the footsteps of death have always followed me, I have swiftly delivered to its maw. And it's fitting to go forth wielding Grimm's very blade." And he holds up and you can see etched on the side is the name Grimm. And he's going to try to hold it up and see if he can somehow illuminate or it be drawn towards death, towards the widower, and find some path.
Excellent. And do we get any more lore drops about who Grimm is, or do we have to wait to find that out?
So this blade is supposedly the blade of death. Like, that's why he's been followed all his life by death, and he has been delivering to death's very maw with the blade. So
you stole Morticia's weapon.
he came
Or
across
is Grimm
it.
different?
No, Grimm. So that's Grimm is the blade and is the blade of the god of death. Who, I guess, if Morticius is the god of death, I've never heard him called as such. I've only ever heard of him referred to as death. And so, this is the blade of Morticius.
So as you pull that out and the symbols kind of coalesce into something readable, Winton looks over to you. Is that? It can't be.
It is.
Blade of death.
It's haunted me ever since I came across it. Can't seem to get rid of it.
With that, we could cut the strands of death.
I don't want
Or
to
wield them to our purposes.
I don't want to cut the strands. I need to use them if I can.
They're quite strong. Probably support the weight of 3 adventurers.
There's someone down there, and I point towards into the abyss, that can use them. And I intend to find out how.
You think I don't know that? And like for a moment, you see a flash of the handcuffs that are on his wrists.
Are they like broken manacles? Like
No, they're intact. Yeah, and then there's just like these
They're just
glowing
invisible.
strands attached to them that they kind of go off into the darkness.
So combining the glowing
They're usually
strands,
invisible. Yeah, they're usually invisible.
so the glowing strands off of his not bracers, gauntlets, cuffs, and the axe of Morticius. Is there any way we can use these to detect the strands of death that we can follow to the widower?
As
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
do that to illuminate the area, I join in and I say, well, no light without darkness, no darkness without light. And as you look at my pajamas, you notice that the stars are actually shining a little bit as well, adding to the luminosity.
Well, everybody has jumped in to do something here, but who's actually making the roll?
So I was gonna use 3 if I could.
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's you.
Yeah,
for sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Is your character's name Graham or just the axe?
No, my character's not named Grim, and so
Okay.
that's coming. So I got a 3, 5, and 6. So I got a 6.
Excellent. Badass.
And that's 1, 2,
Totally
A
badass.
little bit aloof, but yeah.
Yeah. 1 point of aloofness, but you do something totally badass. Yeah. I think like all of what you were saying kind of comes together, and through like the glowing of the runes, like reflecting off of these abyssal manacles with the glowing stars on Blade's pajamas, you think you start to see the strands of death sort of coalesce in the darkness, illuminating, and they start to like build into a staircase that then continues off of the end of the like physical staircase. So now you're like walking down the strands of death, and that takes care of about half of the problem.
Yeah.
However, since you are like fucking with the strands of death, you're kind of like tugging at them in a way, and that is sort of like kind of disrupting the regular flow of death. And suddenly you see swirling around you like a vortex, thousands and thousands and thousands of spirits that are now trying to create a like maelstrom to prevent you from descending further.
Is Valera amongst them?
How could you even know? There's thousands of them.
I would recognize her in a heartbeat.
You're such a fucking stalker.
Sorry
Sorry for my language.
We were taught to be edgy. I'm edgy. Like,
Hey, edgy, creepy. I think there might be a translation error.
It's a very thin border.
Did you roll the unforgettable lover prompt?
Hey, wait, pull the lever.
I didn't, but hey, I if you want me to roll for this,
It sounds like you're trying to do something. So yeah, what are you trying to like get her to like somehow let y'all through?
yeah, to help us. I'll add something into this. I'll look through this maelstrom of souls that are floating around us, and I think I see a hint of Valera in there. And maybe it's just my imagination, maybe it's my desire, maybe it's something else entirely. But something is compelling me to call out her name, Valera. And as I look into the maelstrom, I say, we're both from the dark forest. You know, like we grew up together. We taught each other everything we know. I know you're gone, but you need to help me one final time. Can you please show us the way?
How many dice you trying to roll?
That's 2.
All right, roll.
That's a 6 and a 4, so 6.
Oh wow!
Oh, we are so aloof. Oh no!
Take another point.
I'm gonna
aloofness.
lean. I'm gonna lean over to Win and be like, "This guy's really creeping me out."
Yeah, he
Even
definitely
death
gives
can't
off-
secure her.
He definitely gives off stalker vibes.
I'm trying to help us.
I don't know what a vibe
Yeah.
is.
Well, okay. Here's the thing: the vibe is off, but it seems like there is something weird and special between Blade and Valera, even though it makes everybody else uncomfortable. Her ghost sort of like manifests in front of everybody,
Yes.
and she looks even more amazing than she did in her like sort of gaunt, like reformed form. She looks like she's a shining paragon of like her in her best days. And
I reach
pulls
into
out
my pack and I show her clothing. Like I took your clothing with me.
She ignores that and she pulls out the huge golden bow that she usually wields, and she's like, "Yes, as my final gift to you, please let me return to the death stream. Deal with this for me. I will always love you." And then she like shoots like an arrow made out of ghostly light, and it like cuts through the abyss and
Deal
makes
with this
a
for
clear
me.
path.
The harp of life. Where did you find that?
And as that happens, and we are shown the way forward, I kind of feel stupid because now she said that she loves me, and that was never my intention with her. So
Really? You sure about
oh
that?
no.
You sure about that?
Seems like you caught feelings first, but
I brought clothes. Oh,
Oh man.
This is gonna need such a big disclaimer when we're done.
Yeah,
yeah.
a little bit.
Yep. Yep.
Took the idea of edge lords a little beyond where I expected, but sure.
Hey, look, guys, the way forward.
We just sort of like.
Was that a 12 task? Was that 12?
yeah, the task is done.
Wow.
Damn. Okay.
Turns out the abyss is a fucking jump.
Love it.
Yeah. As you like cut through the abyss, you then I should roll what the next challenge is. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, so you then realize that the like path that you've been descending down is it's almost like an inverted tower kind of hanging from the top of a cavern, and you eventually look out into the necropolis, and it's almost as if there's like a whole nother world down here. It's like an Underdark kind of situation, and you could see the like basically the tenements of the dead. There are all these like buildings and structures that all are like individual tombs for the people here, but also this like abyss is also sort of like whirling around it, as if the abyss has like flooded this community, and it's like freeing all of these souls, and the souls are being reunited with their bodies, and their bodies are reforming flesh. Basically, this like city of the dead is coming alive. And from your perspective, in this like inverted tower, there's probably like an opening in the side of the tower, like a window. You see there is a massive skeleton, like skyscraper-sized skeleton, just kind of stalking around. It's like slowly absorbing flesh to itself, but like this thing is so huge, it's going to take like eons for this thing to fully form into whatever sort of giant it was before. But it senses the living amongst the dead in this tower, and it picks up a huge fucking sword, and it strikes the side of the tower. The tower shakes, and you all like have to like grab onto something to not fall. Y'all are badasses, so I'm not going to say that you actually do fall. But yeah, you have now you're now face to face with an elite minion of the villain, the massive giant skeleton that is guarding the city of the dead.
How
What do you do?
How tall did you say?
100 feet. This is like a kaiju, basically.
Nice. Wow.
I thought bigger.
I haven't.
I've had bigger.
This is. Oh.
Bro.
Oh. Okay. I don't think that even with 1,000,000 knives, I could take that thing down.
Why is it
It's
angry
winding
with
up for
us?
another strike against the tower.
Is there
Uh,
any? Is there any seemingly pat down? You said this is like an upside down building or upside down skyscraper. Does it connect with the ground?
I think it gets close enough to the ground that you can like figure out a way down.
All right. Well, I think it's time for us to run. And
But who knows? Who knows if this tower will even stand long enough for you to get down there? As this massive giant skeleton keeps whacking it with a sword.
all right,
I
wait for it to strike, and then follow me. I was gonna. He gets to the window and he's like readying himself to jump onto the sword as it collides with the tower.
Oh hell yeah!
You're gonna Shadow of the Colossus this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna climb up it? Nice.
Or down it, like just the, we're gonna deal with this.
Maybe if we
Classic
get on
sword
top
slide.
of it. Maybe if we get on top of it, we can find its pressure. It's
Weak spot.
points of weak spot. Thank you.
You use your get your goo ready. It looks sticky. We can probably latch on. You don't touch me with yours.
I think I can do that.
I kind of pull these pouches of goo out of my coat that I had looted off of your party from earlier, and I kind of take a sniff. I'm like, oh, this one. This is the sticky one.
I take a bit and I make my hands sticky, ready.
So yeah, as my first thing, I think what I'm gonna do is a couple of things. I'm gonna say, in a past life, I was a peaceful goo brewer, and before I got into this life of being a servant to these cults, and as such, I know that this particular concoction can help you climb such creatures. And I take some and I rub it between my hands, and I hand both of you some as well. I think that's probably 2 dice if I could just go ahead and call that my contribution.
Winton, as
This
you
is a-
say this, all of a sudden I have a moment of recognition, and I'm like, goo farmer. And I'm like, I asked when I came into the bar for fermented goo. It's a local brew that not a lot of people know. You're the one that invented this. You are the Winton.
In a past life, yes. And that's a 4.
You don't look like the guy on the label. How did you manage?
That I hired a branding company to draw that for me.
That is so
It's a
smart.
fictional creature, just to sell more goo.
Jed, you said that was a 4, right?
Yeah, it's a 4.
Yeah, this is like cool, I guess.
The person
like,
on the label doesn't even exist.
You're so smart.
It was cool in the sense that it has inspired your companion, who was a fan of your gooing company. For all this.
The local gooing company.
Micro goo.
Locally sourced goo. Locally sourced goo. Free range.
Oh, that's seasonal. That's a seasonal thing. Small batch.
I like it when he brings
Yeah,
out the
you
dark goo.
You deal 4 damage to this 14 step.
Correct.
challenge.
Yes. Yeah. So everybody has sticky hands now.
All right, so I think we're
Daniel,
gonna
you were
wait.
pretty anti-goo before. How are you feeling now?
I'm not consuming it. Like this thing. Okay, it smells like rotten
Missing out.
skunk's milk.
Yeah.
You're
missing out.
He's not gonna taste it, but it smells awful. God damn it.
Yeah, it smells exactly like skunk, basically.
Yeah. The skunk.
That's how you know it's good.
Let's get this over with. I wait until the skeleton hits and.
Yeah, this 100-foot sword is about to hit this tower again. What do you do?
As soon as it stops moving, when it collides with the tower, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think all of us, right? I'm following behind.
Same.
Yeah.
You're leading us.
Yeah. So
In a past
let's
life,
make a
I
roll
was
for you
an
to lead the
acrobat.
way. Oh. Lots of past lives here.
Oh, you were an acrobat. Wow, how convenient.
In fact, that's my hero walker.
I was a lot of things.
I wore many hats. Back when I knew light, I was an acrobat. Anyway,
What, you knew Light? He was a good man.
she was my lover.
They were my friend.
Light forged ladle, of course. From my village, you wouldn't have.
I think we all knew.
we all knew different lights.
This makes me put things in a whole different light. Yeah.
As
we
we're
all-
climbing,
We all have so many ambiguous relationships in common. This is incredible.
Yeah. Like, I don't mind as long as it has a pulse. And even that is questionable.
all right, here comes the sword. Stop talking. Ah!
Sorry.
So, does anybody roll or are we just continuing?
This is
It
yours.
seems like you're gonna roll.
Oh
Daniel.
God. Okay, I think I'm
You
just.
seems like you're leading the way, and you just revealed that you used to be an acrobat. So that sounds like 2
Yes.
dice at least.
Okay, I'll do 2. I was gonna say 1 just because I didn't really reveal much about my acrobatic lifestyle, but yeah. So, well, actually, I also revealed my lover, who was Light Forged Ladle. By the way, Light Forged Ladle is her name. It's a custom in the village to. It's custom. I'm not explaining this to you while I'm jumping, but it's a custom in the village to be named after various implements, farming or otherwise.
Dark Pitchfork was
son
a
of a
good
bitch.
friend of mine.
I got a 2 on my 2 dice that I rolled.
All right. So you take 2 more points of aloofness. All right. So
Thinking of
you
light
all
has reminded
jump
me why
on-
I do not party with people.
It's really funny that I introduced a villain called the Widower, and then you all have like dead girlfriends.
I don't think Barry has a good girlfriend. He has a dead interest.
She was never a girlfriend of mine. We were lovers.
All right. Okay, so Daniel, I kind of want to put this in your like ballpark or into your court about like what is not great about how this goes, because a 2 says you do something unremarkable.
So when the sword hits, he tries to like jump out and latch onto it, but because he jumped a little bit too early, and the shifting of the stone actually ends up making it so that when he actually hits the edge of the window and stumbles forward and basically rotates through the air until he lands on the sword and latches on.
So you just like cling to the sword like a fucking gecko.
It was supposed to look badass, where he was like that was the last resort. He was gonna jump onto the sword and run up it Naruto style, and he fell flat against the side of it.
Do the others follow?
Yeah.
So
I
you
think-
all like gecko onto the sword.
I think based
yeah.
on that roll, I also stumble, but I start climbing up like the tower, maybe to the side, instead of the sword itself.
So at least 2 of you fall out the window.
Yeah, no, I'm on the sword with Daniel's character. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna start going up the sword.
All right. There's still 8 points left in this challenge.
I think it's to you, Barry.
I don't want to step on anyone's foot. I have another thing if you want. If anyone else got it.
Go ahead.
Right.
I'm still tying 2 things together. Go ahead.
Okay. So as the sword is lifting over the skeleton's head for another strike, I want to release my hold and drop towards the head. And is that something that can happen?
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
sure. All right.
as long as you roll dice for it.
All right. So as I'm falling, he's gonna grab the axe and he's going to hold it and he's going to yell, "Rending strike!" and try to cleave the skeleton or the skull from the vertebrae.
Okay.
And I don't know what the plan is from there, but like he needs to stop this thing.
Sounds like a called shot, so it sounds like 2 dice.
Okie doke. I got a 3 and a 6, so fuck, another. Sorry,
Wow.
aloofness. Yeah,
You're getting.
Where
to
are you
your-
at? You're pretty bad, huh?
I was.
Yeah,
4,
that's 5
now
or
I'm
6.
5. I'm 5.
Yeah.
You're one
The
away.
thing is, I've been getting closer and closer to finding light again in my life, and the more I get close to her,
The light is dead.
the more I don't need anyone else.
I know your feeling. I know. I get it.
So I got a 3 and a 6.
So, yeah, you do something totally badass, which means that I think you succeed at what you're trying to do. You like jump off of the sword with your huge fucking axe, and you fall towards it, and you like hit its clavicle, and you crack it, and that causes like the like spine to snap, and the head of this huge thing just goes fucking flying off. However, it is not defeated. So what ends up happening is you see some of those like that swirling like necrotic energy start to like swirl around where its head used to be, and you see a like ghostly head now appear where the skeletal head was, and this is the body of a like an ancient legendary like ogre. And you see its like horrible maw as it starts to like chomp at the air with its like ghostly teeth.
I'm still on the sword, and when this dark essence coalesces into a visible image of a face, I recognize this creature, and I rush over to its ear and I say, "Galtham, heed my call. We know each other from a past time. We've shared wine and a campfire and so much more."
You knew Galtham the Behemoth?
Yes. We played backgammon and then
Sorry.
he had a really hard time with the small pieces, and that's how we bonded, because I helped him out with it. It was a good moment. And I tried to catch his attention before he makes another strike. I said, "Listen to me, brother. You might be perished, but we are not, and we seek entry to your master's lair. Let us go, please."
Sounds like 2 dice.
Yeah, figured. That's a 2 and a 3, so a 3.
Excellent. Yeah, no aloofness taken, and just enough to take this challenge out, or more than enough to take this challenge out. Yeah, you see a moment of recognition in Galtham's ghostly eyes. And were you always called Blade?
I went by a lot of different monikers depending on where I went.
Okay.
He might know me as Hulkular the Pulverizer.
Hulkular, the Pulverizer, is that you?
In the flesh. I say, as I notice that might be very inappropriate saying that to a skeleton.
She drops the huge sword, and the
Yes.
sword like clatters down and destroys a bunch of buildings because it was like 100 feet. And she gently helps you down. Does Winton just kind of like casually like climb down the tower as all of this is happening?
Yeah, as like he's watching all of this happening, he finds like a nearby like clothesline to zip line down on. Yes,
Yeah, lots of
like a
lots
total
of clotheslines.
badass.
Lots of
Yeah, of
clotheslines
course.
at the end of the bed.
Yeah.
He's got
And-
some clothes from the dead girl from earlier. So
Yes. Right. They needed to be
Good
dried.
thing.
no, don't say that.
Well, the dead giant does let the rest of you down carefully, and puts you down like right near the like the whatever building the widower seems to be doing their like big spell in. So you're now right outside the domain of the villain of this story. Winton probably has to catch up because Winton didn't get let down easily.
Yeah.
As part of my 6, I actually was basically acrobating my way down the rib cage, monkey barring, and
Oh hell yeah!
all the yeah. So.
Do I have time to say something to my companions as we approach?
Yeah, we can definitely have a little moment of vulnerability here.
I turn to my companions and I say, I have always been known as the unkillable warrior, and now I suspect I am finding out why. Because I was at one point killed, but then brought back to life by this necromancer, this widower. And that is why I cannot die, nor can I live. We must destroy him.
I think I agree with you. You see, as you might have surmised in a past life, in so many past lives, I was renowned. I am renowned as an unforgettable lover. Everyone has my name.
I had not surmised that. No, don't assume.
Anyone has my name and so many other things on their lips when they think of me. And, well, let's just say that I have a lot of reasons to see this true as well. Things have happened that should not see the light of day ever again, and I'm here to make short work of it.
That's a little bit vague. I think you should be slightly more specific.
If I have to call out the names of the people that were involved, this is going to take a little while.
I understand. That sounds really boring. Don't do that.
Thank you.
We can't kill him. We can't kill the widower. I need to find out how. I need to get my light back to me.
With that axe and the light returned, there may be a way.
He's the only thing that ever meant anything in this life. And if the widower...
I know the feeling.
The widower is my way to see her again. I won't let you stop them.
The widower is a good man, though. He once was. He made sure that women that were once taken were freed from the bounds of marriage and made available for the common folk like us.
What the fuck?
He's a hero in my eyes.
The widower.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The widower. Yeah. Makes widows.
I appreciate him, but he must be stopped.
Made available? What the fuck?
Appreciate him?
Widower, like their husbands were killed. That's a reach. I don't know about that.
We need to see this through.
Hashtag Blade is problematic.
Hashtag totally agree.
That's going to be trending soon.
All right. Does everybody share their moment of vulnerability that they wanted to reduce their aloofness by 1?
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, this next challenge is going to be the final one of the story. You are next to a like tomb building that is just thrumming with necrotic energy, and it seems to be like this is where the like abyss is sort of like spilling out of. I'm imagining it's like a ruined structure, and at the cracks in the top of it, it is like bursting with this abyssal energy. The spell that is like breaking the seam between the land of the living and the land of the dead is being opened here at this place. And you can almost like sense that the like abyss that is seeping out is kind of like the river Styx itself. Like the river Styx is like starting to flood the land of the living. That is like kind of what is causing all of these spirits to escape and re-inhabit their old bodies. Do you enter?
If we must.
Gladly.
Yes.
Cool. As you enter, you see some of those cultists, and they're all chanting. There's like a magic circle. You see the widower himself. He's kind of just like a normal, late 50s man wearing a robe of constellations with a lily in his pocket, much like all of his minions. But now beside him, thrumming with even more power than him, is the priestess, his wife, the one he has done all of this for, being, as I mentioned earlier, the world's most dangerous wife guy. His wife was a horrible priestess of Morticius. And now, in death, and, missing her husband, she has decided that, we don't need a boundary between life and death anymore. Let's just break it. This is Morticius's will. And she stands in the center of the circle, holding a stave of holy necrotic energy as it, blasts the fabric of reality at every angle. This necrotic energy coming out of the seams of reality like a deathly prism. And you have walked in on this ritual.
Is this priestess the lady that we saw earlier in the bar?
No.
Ah, dang it.
Is this priestess light herself?
I
wrote down her name is Morganthula.
That's
I do not be
cool.
light.
That's really edgy. Love it.
If she was light, if that was light, then I was about to become the next widower.
She's. I don't know if they're polyamorous or not, but she does have one husband already.
I don't care if you're polyamorous. I'm not, and he's dead.
That's death with a TH.
I must become death to kill death.
Is there a path toward the center where this ritual is happening?
Yes.
Okay,
wait. This building is like a crumbled church, obviously, because she's a priestess. It's a church to Morticius, whatever that looks like.
all right. I'm going to go ahead and lone wolf this for a second. And I pull out two blades and I hold them above my head. I shout as I walk toward the center of where this ritual is happening. I shout, "Morticius! Your servant has arrived!" And
by the way,
go ahead.
The priestess is a 16 challenge clock, and the widower is her minion, and he is an 8 challenge clock.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna walk toward
typical wife guy behavior. He's the less of the challenge than the wife.
I'm gonna walk toward the edge of this this ritual, and once again fall to my knees, much like I did in the beginning of this adventure. I'm going to say, "I've served you for centuries, and I came here to destroy you. But if you release the one they call light back to these friends I've made, I will serve you for another 1,000 years."
Wow.
And I'm trying to bargain with them. And that's
You're trying
what I.
So you're trying to interrupt the ritual by bargaining to the god that they are also
Yeah, more or less
doing magic
And
to.
actually, the way that I'm going to phrase this is, you are going to release the one they call light, and I will serve you for 1,000 years. And that's my way of phrasing it as a called shot.
All
And
right.
Valera.
I don't repeat that. She's not part of this. All right, so that's 3 dice. I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to interrupt the ritual, and I'm trying to bargain with them. So I guess that's kind of the two things that I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Which challenge is this going towards? The priestess or the widower?
Good question.
Who's
I
running
mean,
the
like it sounds like
ritual?
she's the one that's really in charge, right?
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
yeah, then with her, with the
Okay.
ritual. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna roll 3 dice. Okay. 6, 6, and 4.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, 2 6s. So that's a
2 6.
critical hit.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So every additional 6 you get beyond the first 6 is an additional point of damage and an additional point of aloofness. So you take 2 points of
Shit.
aloofness, but you
I'm
deal
at 4.
7.
I'm at 4 aloofness.
You deal 7 damage to the priestess.
Wow.
What is this?
Dope.
What does this look like? Because this is like diplomacy, right?
Yeah. So I think that with this, totally badass, super badass. Him being like, I will serve you for 1,000 years. I think what happens is that the priestess looks down on him and says, "If you'll permit me, DM." I think
mean, you're shoehorning your bullshit into this, so
yeah. Okay. So she looks down at him and she says, "You have been a good servant. I would appreciate 1,000 years more of your service." And then with that, out of the crowd of the River Styx hands crawls one who is glowing, and you both recognize it as Light as she gently walks back toward you, is in her
I don't think this
spectral
is his
form.
light. I think his light was a guy.
Well,
But-
it's a they them. We'll say that.
It's
They had a lot of different things going for them. Yeah.
she's a white dragonborn.
Gender ambiguous white dragonborn.
They're a white dragonborn, who is very, very fragile looking, almost bird-like, and
But I think we
very caring. What?
I think we said something about her being the key to destroying the god of death. So
Wait, did we?
yeah.
Oh. Okay.
did we? I mean, we can.
That's why
This is
I'm giving
Lightforged
1,000
ladle.
years of service.
You'll note that do the wounds of her life show up on her body? Like you remember the arrow through the guy's neck earlier.
Yeah. How did they die?
She has a rend on one side that looks very like is the exact size and shape of a strike that would have been made by this axe.
Oh,
So
Mm.
edgy.
So yeah, as they approach you, Grim starts to glow brighter.
Yep.
And I'm also gonna say that with my critical hit, the priestess empowers my my staff of unending daggers to be more powerful.
yeah.
for-
See, now
for
it's
the
that
duration.
God-
unending swords.
Sure.
God's
Yeah,
love.
exactly. Now I have unending swords.
God's love, mortal sacrifice. Pledging
Yeah.
another 1,000 years of service. That's huge shit. All right, what is everybody else
That's
doing?
My turn. That's my turn.
Light.
I'm tempted to say I'm just looking at this in shock and awe.
Is that really you, Light? My little spark light. And
They-
I'll approach.
Oh,
Them.
yeah, she's them. Okay, a lot of different pronouns were used.
She's a her.
I
She's
think
a her
let's-
to me,
let's stick with
okay?
they, them. Let's stick
She's
with
a
they,
her.
them.
Yeah,
She's a her
Yeah,
to
them
me.
is fine. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it could be in any pronoun situation.
Okay.
That's totally valid. Yeah, they approach you and they like look at you, and kind of similar to the things that you've experienced before on this journey. They seem like half there, but also half confused, like half running off of just like pure like chaotic memory, half like still trying to figure out why they are inhabiting a body again after all of this time being a spirit. But they do look at you with recognition, memories sparked in their soul, but they don't exactly know what to say.
As I see Daniel's character moving in to do this, which is the first sign of sort of like a gentle approach rather than like just, like hit first, ask questions later. I remember the bardic instrument that I stole earlier, and I multi-classed into a bard. So I actually give him bardic inspiration.
You multi-classed it to a bard in the last like 20 minutes.
Yeah, we leveled up, didn't we?
Even better.
Sure.
So I'm unaware of anything that's happening right here. He's approaching. Goes, my little sparklight. I didn't
Do
mean
you mind
to...
if we do Barry's roll first, and then we'll figure out
Sorry,
what your roll is?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
that's it.
you set up a situation, and it seems like Barry is trying to like aid somehow. And then
I'm aiding you.
Ding,
You're
ding,
getting
ding,
bardic
ding,
inspiration.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Yep.
So are you just like pulling out a jaunty tune? What is the vibe here?
Yeah, so I'm playing a personal rendition of Careless Whisper on the string instrument that I have, and it's pretty okay actually.
I never want to dance again.
Major brownie points for the fact that you have your guitar ready.
I couldn't wait. I had to go.
I never. Yeah.
It's like it.
Let me just go to
Okay.
the saxophone.
Actually, even better. I gotta get my violin out of the closet. But you actually pull out a kazoo. It's just
because I multi-classed into a bard, and that just appeared out of nowhere. Yeah.
Let's make a roll though.
Barry.
Yeah, I'll drop a roll on that.
that
Which is
one
a
die?
fat 6. Yeah, just one. That's a fat 6. So I'll take
Wow.
the point of aloofness.
How aloof are you now?
That is my 4th because I
Okay.
had 4 and I dropped 1 and I got 1.
Okay.
Dude, Jed's hit 6.
And I'm
What
guessing this
happens
is-
there.
No, I'm at 4. I got rid of a lot of it as
I
we
thought
went.
you were.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were at 4. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, I was at 2, and then I added
That
2
would have
more.
been perfect for the 1,000 years of service, and you just get like sucked into the portal or something like that.
That's actually good. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, it would have been perfect.
So I'm
Is
setting the
is this
stage for you
being-
as you're.
Yeah, is this being put
I'm-
towards the priestess's clock?
Yeah, because that is what Daniel's character is currently working. So yeah.
Cool. Wow, the major boss has been drained down to like 3 out of 16 already. The widower has not been touched. He's probably going to be pissed if you kill his wife.
Oh, or happy. We'll
Again.
see.
I don't care anymore. I got what I came for. Light, my little spark
Yeah.
light. Are you? It's me. It's Scythe. You. I'm sorry.
Name drop.
I didn't mean to. I was fighting the guards, and I didn't see you there. I'm sorry. I didn't. We
They
laid you.
look at you with recognition, with realization. That last moment coming back to them, the one that they loved, holding the blade that felled them.
We laid you to
You look
rest under the
shocked.
orchids that you always wanted.
The confusing, chaotic emotions of being a re-inhabited spirit and all of this new tragic information being revealed, they're speechless. You're gonna have to make a roll here.
We'll never let that happen for you again. And is that gonna be 2 or 3 or 1?
Definitely 2, because you're revealing that you
Okay.
like killed your ex.
With an axe. That's
Son of a bitch.
There's something poetic about that.
So to round out our 6s, I've got a 5 and a 6 on my 2 that I rolled.
Oh shit. That brings you up to
I'm
5
actually-
aloofness.
So my whole goal here was to get the widower, who I thought was the one bringing people back to death. Yes, I'm at 5 aloofness now. I don't care about anything that's happening right now except for who isn't standing in front of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what has happened is that like y'all have basically just created a huge like distraction like in this ritual. You're creating this like really dramatic, over the top moment, and A lot of the like cultists are kind of losing track of what's happening. The priestess is losing power as everybody's like put their attention on this drama instead, and the whole thing is like starting to fall apart. And through all of this chaos, the spell is interrupted basically, and the priestess falls to her knees and passes out as like she loses control, especially because Winton has like dedicated another 1,000 years of his human existence to this god of death. That's like more than these chumps were offering. Like
Usually what I offer is
everything's
enough.
getting all fucked up. Yeah, the priestess falls. She's fucking done. The widower is now pissed off, and he screams. He's like, "No, my wife!" And he like puts his fists in the air, and his fists start to like pulse with like black necrotic fire. And he starts throwing fireballs at you, interrupting your beautiful moment.
I'm gonna push her behind the pews and try to say, "Stay down. We'll talk after this," and stand back up to confront, like everybody else.
So you take the fireballs in the face?
Yeah, I'm not letting them touch her.
Okay. I'm not interfering. Like, my face is too pretty for that.
I've been hit by.
You
fire
have a
before.
pissed off necromancer here though. Who's gonna deal with that?
So, Jed.
Yes, I turn to my master and I say, "Now that I am your servant, enable my unending swords to cut the strands of death so that these infidels can know no peace." And I'm going to appeal to
Who are the infidels in this situation?
these would be my comrades here. I'm basically at least potentially pretending, maybe not, to switch sides to the god of death. Now that I've pledged myself as a servant. But yeah, I'm asking the god of death. I say to him something along the lines of like, "When you met me, I had been in a dark place because my gubru business was not going well, and I needed a way out."
Your microbrewery.
Yeah, my microbrewery. And I needed a way out, and so I pledged myself to you, and I have been your humble servant ever since. But now I feel that I have earned my place in your ranks as your right-hand executioner. If you would imbue my blades with the ability to cut the strands of life and death, we can do away with these evildoers once and for all. And I look over at what was your name again? Oh, Scythe and Blade and Light. I look over at Scythe and Blade and Light, and I say, "It is what they have coming to them."
Insight check. Is what I would have said.
So I believe that's 3. Because I revealed backstory, and I also said it's what they have coming to them.
I mean, I'm happy to let people roll as many dice as they want
All right,
to, as long as
let's
they
go.
hit all the points.
LFG. A 6, 1, 3, and 6.
Oh my god, you're at 5.
We're both.
Or is that done?
Yeah, we're
I'm
both
at 5 aloofness.
Oh
Yep.
man, we're cutting Nicholas.
He really goes. And I'll be honest, I don't know if he's deceiving you or not, and I think that aloofness is going to be what decides that. So
Oh my god.
And so I'm going to go ahead and say that with this, his blades that he's holding above his head start to glow with this black necrotic energy, and looking around, Winton is suddenly able to see what was previously invisible, the strands of life and death connecting these beings to the well of life and death. And he looks at the one connecting lights and kind of needing to follow through on this. Oh no, I don't think I think he's gonna look at. Let me think about this. Yeah, no, I think that's why I'm gonna leave it for now, and I'm gonna see who else is gonna what my teammates are gonna do, and then I'll
I have an
decide
important question.
how to
I have an important question
execute
before we
this.
move
Yes,
on.
go ahead. Yes.
When you proclaim people in this room as infidels, do you also include the widower in this?
No. I'm specifically referring to Scythe and Blade, who were outsiders.
Okay. So then in this sense, are you trying to like quell the challenge by like showing the widower that you're on his side?
Basically, yes.
Gain empowerment.
That's correct.
As well.
And also gain empowerment for myself, gain new powers of being able to cut the strands.
Yeah. So then the widower moves so that he is like oriented on your side as he starts throwing these necrotic fireballs at the rest of the crew.
Yeah. And I think I'm just gonna leave it there for now. We'll see what they do in response to this.
I mean, there's only 2 points left in the challenge, so this will be wrapped up in probably the next move.
I have something I want to do, but I also don't want to step on the feet. Papa, if you have something,
go ahead. Like I've the lady's been basically secured. I don't really care about this guy, so it's your call.
So, Scythe stands to his full height, just taking the fireballs, and reaches around, pulls the haft out, looks down to Light, and looks over, and he sort of tries to get a knowing glance from Winton, and
is this the meme of like the soldier in the T pose, like taking all the knives while there's like a child in a bed behind them?
Yeah.
No, but I like it. So he holds up the axe and he starts like stalking towards the widower. He goes, "You and yours brought back my light. For that I will grant you no suffering. But know this, the blade I wield is grim, is your very own god's blade. And when you get there, tell him the one who delivered you is shadow-quenched Scythe." And he's going to rear back and rending slash.
And I think as you do this, actually no, go ahead and roll first.
Well, so he like hopefully he was looking for a knowing glance from you. He was hopefully like getting his attention to him so you could stab him in the back too.
Yeah, roll first and then I'll interject.
All right. I kind of just want to roll one because I'm real close to aloofness. All right. I got a 4.
You gave the full name drop though.
What'd you get?
Yeah, I got a 4. But yeah, so
okay, so I think as you lift your axe, is it a sword or an axe?
It's a sword. It's a battle axe. Or sorry, it's a sword. It's a battle axe. No, it's a battle axe.
It's a battle axe. Okay.
Yeah, it's a battle axe.
It's a sword with an axe on the end. Yeah.
So initially there were going to be some
axe,
ethereal scythes coming out of it, but
yeah, I think as you lift your battle axe, this sword, this power that had just been granted to my swords, I magically confer it onto your blade instead, as you go to attack the widower.
As that happens,
this like spectral necromantic, like cut the strands of life and death.
So not only does it
change the tune to something more battle-esque. I found my new job.
So you strike the widower, aka Oswald, with the axe of death himself, and his last words are, "Morgantula, I will see you again. Our will be done." And then he collapses, cleaved with the axe. And the necrotic power. So the wife was in charge once she was summoned, but he was the one who like kind of started all of this spell. So once he falls, the magic falls as well, and suddenly the necropolis is as silent as a tomb.
And all the undead just.
I turn and look towards Light and run and jump over the pew. What's her state?
Oh, this is Alpha the 10-page backstory. You have a brief moment. What do you say?
Light, are you with me? Don't leave me again. Don't leave me again.
She's gone.
I'll
You have to let it go.
meet me in the 5th layer of hell.
I'll meet you
And they
anywhere.
disappear. and they're gone.
You have to let it go, my friend. Sometimes they're not worth it.
She's worth more than I.
They did give you a possible place to meet, though. You're just gonna have to go to the 5th layer of hell.
Do either of you know how to enter hell?
Yes.
There's a bar that I know. It's called the 5th layer of hell. Maybe she meant that one.
It's right next to the 4th layer of hell.
Yes. The whole street is condemned, but it's really good ale over there.
Weirdly, they skipped
wow.
the 13th level of hell because it's unlucky.
Yeah. It's on the corner.
Yeah.
Well, that is technically the end of the adventure.
No, hang on. We make our way
Okay.
back to the bitter sip because I won my 100 gold.
Oh yeah. I was about to transition to the epilogue part of the game. Yeah. Give me your epilogue first, and then we'll move to the part that says the end of the tale.
Cool.
What is the rest of this day look like?
I think I turn to my previous companions and I say to them, I hope you'll understand I had to switch sides for a moment. It's the only way to retrieve the power that could strike down the widower.
Thank
So
you.
Does this mean that you are indeed in servitude for another 1,000 years?
My hope is that with both of them struck down, I can avoid their grasp, but we shall see.
You made a deal with the god of death directly.
Yep.
So
Morticius
This is what my character says, not
okay.
Yeah. I
So-
think that as he says this, like, you kind of see some life leave his eyes.
Morticius,
Before you go, I cling to your jacket and I say, wait, Winton. There's one thing I have to ask of you before you go. I pull you close, inches away from my face. And as I see the light leave your eyes, almost, I say, can I have your stuff?
I reach into my pocket and pull out a glowing bag of goo, and I say, this,
it's the master goo.
the yeast of this goo built my empire, really established my brand. And now I bestow it upon you, and I place it in your hands.
Your brand that was doing so poorly, you had to make a deal with the god of death.
Please,
I shed a tear.
in my honor, rebuild it to what it once was, and don't let it fall into bankruptcy again.
I will take this to heart.
Whose heart?
And as soon as that interaction ends, I imagine there's a shot where Winton turns and the camera zooms in on Winton's face, and then you see the mask of the god of death over their face smiling.
Yeah. Precisely.
Any other last shots of these characters before we get to the last little bit
I'm
of
going to
this?
say that as we try to leave this room, we get to the edge and walk through the door, and suddenly the invisible manacles on his arms hold him back, and he's unable to exit the room. And he says to his compatriots, "Go, live a good life. I must fulfill my duty."
I will. I will not take your name in vain, and I will make sure that your brand is known everywhere.
Once I find light
And
again. Sorry, go.
No, you first. You first.
Once I find light again, I have 1,000 years, so I'll find a way to get you out of your contract.
If it's possible, I will be here.
Anything's possible if you stay grim. Any else facts?
Hashtag trademark.
Stay grim.
Yeah.
Got grim?
Speaking of trademarks, now that you've given me the yeast to the goo, you've also basically transferred the rights to me, right? I want to make sure that when you come back in 1,000 years, we're not gonna have trouble. This is mine now.
Technically, the IP is owned by a multinational conglomerate, but I don't think it's worth much anymore. So maybe you can figure out a way to retrieve it back. I don't know.
I'll get my lawyers on it. Thank you.
Put my glasses back on.
And I proceed to like establish a worldwide dominating brand of goo
Yes.
called Goo Wiser
Wait.
and Goo Wiser Light.
Wait. You're getting into the last step now. Is
Oh,
there anything else?
sorry.
That I've ever met.
That's what I want to do.
Is there anything in this like moment today that we see with these characters before we move on to the epilogue?
Puts on his glasses and says, "You two are the weirdest people I've ever met."
Seeing as Winton is locked into this place, I do them an honor by basically continuing their brand, and I feel that sort of settles it. And I look over at Scythe, and I give him the biggest, most awkward hug that he's ever had. And then I invite him over for a drink. You know, we've shared a lot. Maybe we can, you know...
Some would say too much, maybe.
Maybe we can...
Do you have
maybe we
goat's
can
milk?
take this to the next level.
I don't. Never mind. Don't answer that.
All right. So the last step of this, the end of the tale? ? After the adventure is complete, each character can establish a fact about themselves related to their feats during the adventure. These facts do not need to be accurate, but will subsequently become part of the character's backstory moving forward. And if it feels like a character's backstory has been resolved, add a new dramatic fact that they haven't revealed yet. So not that we're going to be playing these characters again, but like if we were, like what legend do they carry with them, or like what new tragic thing have you revealed about them?
I think that Winton at first is reluctant to serve the god of death as he goes out into the world in his spectral form and begins to reap souls on their behalf. But after a little while, he kind of just starts to get a hang of it, and just accepts his role as the collector of souls for the god of death. And after a little while, he doesn't mind it so much, and that's just his job. But I would say that the next time that these two are in a dungeon and a blade would have come down and destroyed them, he gives each of these folks a pass on their first encounter with death, both Scythe and Blade. And so, in this very strange way, at some point in the distant future, when you feel you have a near-death experience that should have taken you away from this world, you feel my presence briefly, and you continue on.
You smell the goo.
You smell, yeah, it smells like just like a skunky sarsaparilla.
This blade smells terrible. I just imagine you have a cubicle, and in that cubicle you have a little poster that has a little skeletal cat hanging, and it says "hang in there."
Exactly. Yeah, I kind of move my way up the ranks into like a desk job, and I fill out forms for most of the day. But I don't mind it so much. You can get from Monday to Friday, no problem.
Barry, if you have yours.
Yeah. So Blade will honor the tradition and set up a new goo farm and go on to make an internationally acclaimed brand of goo and goo byproducts called Goo Wiser and Goo Wiser Light. It's really popular.
One sec. How about Goo Moon?
Goo Moon.
There we go.
I think they acquire Goo Moon at some point.
Yeah.
They become a monopoly.
Goo Moon, Goodwiser.
Which becomes the primo brand in most of Faerun, especially along the Sword Coast. He does not give up the adventure, and even though he is a staunch disbeliever of any and all of the faiths in Faerun, whenever he plunges a knife into the throat of one of his enemies, faintly he can hear himself think in the back of his skull, "This one is for you, Winton," as he just like ejects the soul out of someone, hoping that Winton would be the one to catch this one.
Nice. Occasionally, I would say, you hear faintly behind you, "Ah, thank you."
By the way, your beer is terrible.
The problem with this is now every time that you like have to reap a soul that Blade has taken, you need to like deal with Blade's like horniness over killing them.
We could have been so much more, but yet you chose death.
Yeah. I can just hear like, oh, after you say that, this is in your name. You hear a whisper, "Stop killing people in my name."
It's way more paperwork than I prefer.
What about you, Side?
There are no legends written in books, no tales told at campfires of the man named Shadow Quenched Scythe. But throughout the land there are whispers. Whispers of corpses, bodies rent head to toe, edges of the rend glimmering slightly in the dark. They seem to form a trail across the land. Here and there were places of mentions of pathways into hell, demon descent. And where he goes, death quickly follows. That's it.
Sounds like in their own way, the gang's getting back together.
I should hope not. I should hope not.
Excellent. Well,
Scout.
That was Elf with the 10-page backstory, and we got a dog now.
That was fun.
Yay! Clap, 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 clap.
Oh, that was cool.
This was one of the
that was-
best semi D&D improvs that I've played ever.
The best
Had a lot
and
of fun with
onlyest
this.
that I've ever played.
It's kind of a D&D parody.
Yeah, that shows, but it's great.
This deserves so much more attention than it might have already had. This needs to be out in the open. This is great.
Yeah.
It had a good first week. I was in the top 10 bestsellers on Itch for the
Nice.
first week, but it has since fallen back down into obscurity. But I would love for people to go check it out.
For now.
Find it at Devin Decibel, devindecibel.itch.io. I also have a bunch of other games. This is my only free one, but if you like the video game Outer Wilds, I turned that into a TTRPG basically. I have a game about being what if Jane Austen met Game of Thrones, but everybody was goblins? That's one of my games. I also have a game about wizard school that has nothing to do with Harry Potter. It's more of like in the Terry Pratchett kind of vibe.
Nice.
Sort of Monty Python-ish too.
Nice.
About wizards breaking the cosmos with their terrible magic.
I
Love
this.
it.
Cool beans. And
So, for those of you that are on Twitch with us right now, you've seen the link in chat a couple of times already. For those of you that are on YouTube, we'll put the link in the description because this deserves a little bit more reach. And for those of you in the podcast, you heard it. Devin just said it, but devindecibel.itch.io /elf with a 10-page backstory, or just devindecibel.itch.io should give you access to all of the other materials as well, if I'm correct. Devin, this was great. I loved it.
Hell yeah. Had a blast with y'all. Thanks for having me.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you for running it.
all right, I think that's everything for us now. For the Gilded Flask, I believe we're going to go on a bit of a hiatus over the course of the month of November.
Yep,
So
we have some Halloween and some holidays and all that, so we should be back at the start of December.
That's where we're shooting for. You'll see more of that, more information in the Discord for anything involving that, and we'll still have a presence on Discord. So if anyone wants to talk with us there, feel free. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
I think beyond that, this has been a pleasure. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Devin, for being here as a special guest, and my co-players are absolutely awesome. Papa, your first time playing in a
100%.
while, so that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I missed this and I love this, and I apologize.
Much to apologize for,
yeah.
honestly.
You should, yeah.
All right, good times, everybody. All right, I think that's
I'm not going to say like, oh, you don't need to apologize. No, it's warranted.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys all next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Yep.